It's been 352 days since the teams last took the court behind us. What began as 170 teams at qualifiers has been whittled down to the final 68, each trying to take home one of the 4 national championships on offer. Don't forget as well, this week for the first time we've got a second court that is available. It'll be court 5 and you can see on Whakata Māori. First up on this court we've got Te Kura o Te Koutu versus Te Kura Kaupapa Māori o Te Kura Kokiri. Let's go upstairs where the teams are ready. No mai, haere mai, and welcome back to the 2023 Secondary School Nationals Day 1. And there's a bit of hype in the air with teams getting into their first games here at Fly Palmy Arena. My name is Andrew Horrocks, and alongside me is a queen off the court, but on the court she is all fi. It is Mel Bennett. Welcome, Mel.
Kia ora, tēnā tātou e te iwi. Nau mai, whakatau mai ki tēnei hōtaka mō te ahiahi nei. Tēnā koutou. Thanks, Andrew.
No worries. We're going to get into the team list in a second. Firstly, Te Kura o Te Koutu, who finished 5th in 2022. Mel, take us away.
So Te Kura o Te Koutu featuring 2 key players. We'll go through them shortly. But on the roster, number 12, Waikimihia Douglas Karona, 5, Iranui Stone Taylor, 28, Tiaria Maniapoto, 4, Te Rua Kahurangi Ihirei, and 6, Waiheke Reo, 37, Dylan Riwita, and coached by Whaia Moana Douglas, 9, Tai Ringa Bennett, 2, Mariwa Wairia Tamai, 10, Hermione Smith, 11, Moiwaka Allen, 42, Ngahirata Haumaha, and 3, Kali Kaiwo, and backed up by AC Pōmane Douglas Karona, and that's Te Kura o Te Koutu.
And then on the other side we've got Te Kura Kaupapa Māori o Te Kura Kokiri.
So for Te Kura Kokiri, 8, Hine Raumihi Bill, 7, Pare Awhiawhi Bill, 14, Te Urutapu Tepa, 12, Ngā Waikoko Kohunui, 9, Ehi Pera Nuku, 10, Te Kaya Heta Haura, 13, Puti Puti Kohunui, 11, Maia Tapiata, 6, Janae Gates, 15, Hine Aorangi Eru, 4, Rehiata Tukaukau, and 5, Kaya Gates, coached by Kihiarua Nuku and AC Rawi Nuku. Yeah, and that is Te Kura Kaupapa Māori o Te Kura Kokiri no Tauranga Moana.
Now, one of my favourite things to do at these weeks, Mel, to pass the time, my favourite uniforms, and I think Te Kura Kaupapa are a very, very early top entrant for that.
Yeah, their uniform design is actually by Demir Wear, so a past tauira of Te Kura Kokiri, fabulous designer. He does a lot of work from the Nicholas Whānau, so kia ora mahara. He's, yeah, isn't it fabulous uniform? Don't they look great?
They look awesome. And then on the other side, it's cool to see Te Kura o Te Koutu wearing the Haine collection for their warm-up jumpers.
Yeah, it is actually, and that's from the Flavel Whānau, so mihi atu to them, and so the Hine collection is massive on the wahine scene at the moment.
That's awesome as well. You see a lot of these gym collections that are kind of men's things, and then they got women's on the side, but to have a woman-specific clothing brand, especially for Māori by Māori, I think is an awesome thing.
No, it is awesome, and she actually had a pop-up store down Queen Street in Auckland over summer. Her brand's gone viral. She also has a Tāne collection alongside that, so yeah, big mihi out to, yeah.
Referees for this one are going to be Bethany and Alana. We're just about underway here on the show court. We've had games running this morning from 9 AM. Mal, have you got around and seen any of them? Did any stand out?
Yeah, I've been here since 9. You know, a few wins on the table. Watched Tauranga Girls College play Barradine. TGC come out on top. Aquinas Boys had a game this morning, won their game. I've been around to watch Napier play Hastings. Napier come out on top. Just watched Stack play against Northcote, won that game. Rosmini had a win. Mount Maunganui College were just playing Auckland Grammar, which was a great game. So, and that was going all Auckland Grammar's way. So yeah, I've watched a few games this morning. been having yarns.
I think there's the beautiful thing of these tournaments is the yarns, the coming together of everyone, the people who might not be involved in the representative scene, but are always a fixture at the school version of it. To catch up with them, say hello, have a little korero.
It is. It's super exciting to be here and just catch up with people courtside. There's a lot of great coaches in the house at this event. Just wanted to turn to some players to watch out for in this game.
Go for gold.
Te koro te Koutu. So we've got Waikimi here, Douglas Corona. So she toured to Guam and Jordan with the Oceania and also the Asia Cup. Number 12 for Te koro te Koutu. Ihipera Nuku, number 9 for Kokiri. So she's one to watch out for. Just played in the D League for Tauranga City Basketball alongside her sister Missy Nuku, who's just gone off to Canada.
I remember watching Missy in the 2019 edition of this tournament and was such an impressive player. Te Kura Kaupapa Maori are going to be in the white, Te Kura o te Koutu in the yellow on defence. It's such a long tournament, Mel. You see a bit of zone mixed in with the wahine to wahine just to try and keep the bodies a little bit fresher. Not to say that zone is a lazy defence at all. It's tough to, but sometimes you just need that change up, don't you, to last the week.
Yeah, you do need that change up, and I think too you have to look at your personnel and what fits your style better. Because if you had to run a full-on disruptive man-to-man defence up and down, you'd have to be pretty athletic, pretty fit. So yeah, it's good to see. So Te Koutu started in that zone. Girl with the ball right now, Waiheke, so she's going away with Josh Thompson in the Junior Tall Ferns this weekend, so she's a player to watch out for as well.
It's almost a perfect thing then that the single A's finish on Thursday. Give her a day to rest before getting on that plane as we see the hara drawn. And it looks like we're going to have the first 3 throws. No, ball is given baseline. As we go through our kupu this week, hara is a foul.
Hara. Oh, they're running a full flat entry. Trying to run a flex screen, but didn't get there.
Don't want to give away too many of your secrets this week, Mal, but what are some of your favourite baseline entries that you look to go for in terms of the setup? Not so much the X's and O's, but just how you like to start your players.
Yeah, we've got for Phi and for our NZ team, we can do a box setup, or we do our bigs on the elbows and just setting screens for the guards to come off. Yeah, and we usually have our PG throw the ball in and then get the ball back. So sometimes it's to score, but sometimes it's just to actually initiate a new concept or offense.
I like that. As the previous possession for Te Kura Kaupapa, we saw our first Kuruwhiwhi Toru on the live stream for the week. No doubt we're going to see plenty of those as the action unfolds. So seeing Te Kura o te Koutu in that 2-3 zone. Great walling up as well. Such an underrated skill, Mel, for our young people to learn how to do. So many people try and jump and block it, but...
Or they just stay on the hip and try and ride them all the way through. And I think verticality is something that needs to be taught at a basic foundation level, and just to get your hands up and fingers through the roof.
I like that. I'm always a fan of those little coaching phrases. Fingers through the roof.
Yeah, fingers through the roof.
That's the first time I've heard that one. I like that one.
I actually learned that from Leonard King, to be fair. Yeah, he just went around, took this clinic, and all about the verticality space and breaking it right down.
But Papa Muri and Tapa on that previous layup attempt. And so it's going to be Te Kura Kaupapa Maori o Te Kura Kokiri ball. Up 3-0 here early in girls single A action.
Obviously they like to play at a pace where they can set something up.
It almost puts you off sometimes, doesn't it, when the defense just sit back into that zone.
Yep. Trying
to get that timing right as you bring the ball up. As we're going to see another hara called here. Both teams still just feeling themselves out. Maybe a few nerves being on the live stream for the first game.
What an opportunity, though.
Absolutely.
Get some exposure out there.
I was talking to Mr. Eves, who's with Stack this week.
Yes.
And we were talking about 2012 when he was with Westlake Boys. I think that was the first year I can remember there being live streamed games. And now we've got 2 courts this year. It's just expanding and expanding. It's a beautiful thing to see.
It's good to see.
Nice little cuts there, high-low, and off the tapa. And the tūrapa taken down by Te Kura o Te Koutu out. And the Kuru Whakau, nice and easily put in.
Great pass from Waiheke down the stretch too. I think they're already trying to pick up their pace in that transition space. A bit of, half-court disruption defensively to come away with that fast break opportunity there.
Kali Kaio, perfect defense to get the steal there at half-time. It's just that little bit of extra pressure that has helped them as they've put four quick points on the board and take the lead. As the hara is there called, there's going to be baseline again. Good opportunity for opposition coaches to see the breadth of what they're running here from baseline plays. Getting plenty of opportunities to do it early.
They've gone to a bit of a box set this time. Usually that's a screen-the-screen action. We'll see if they can, a bit hard to run it against the zone. Looks like
they're just changing personnel.
Yeah.
I remember I always had that whenever I assisted under Kevin Brazo was run zone on inbounds because everyone draws up all these plays for wahine to wahine defense. And then it disrupts them a little bit. Kuruwhiwhi Toru attempt is long, and the tūrapa ends up in the hands of Douglas Karauna. And away come Te Kura o Te Koutu. And one.
Yeah, there's another foul, so another hara.
And she's going to go and shoot Kuru Tautuku, which is a free throw. As we have another look at that in the action replay. Shout out to the people bringing us the pictures this week. At the moment on this court, we have producer Rich and camerawoman Jess. We will have different angles as Court 5 wraps up on Thursday for some finals basketball leading into the business end of the week. Converts to Kuru Tautuku and now Te Kura Kaupapa. With a disruption, and away comes the steal. Te Kura o Te Koutu. And Te Kura Whakau nicely, easily put in off the Papa Muri.
I'm just wondering at what stage might they time out to look at, taking care of the ball like that. So now another fast break opportunity.
And just like that. And the timeout is eventually taken. So, first timeout taken by Te Kura Kaupapa Maori o Te Kura Kokiri. Mel, do you always see that as a bit of a moral victory when you're coaching if the opposition takes the first timeout? Especially
for a momentum swing like that. So they've just gone on a 7 and 8-0 run, something like that. You as a coach, you never want to be that guy calling or that wahine calling the timeout. You want the opposition to be doing that because that's just a small win in your game plan. So obviously the defensive disruption that they've just brought out there that in the half-court set has, made them pass the ball away, which has given them some points on the board. So like Kiharua will be talking to, his team now just to say, look, how we need to get the ball here, move into space a little bit better, but just, not panic at this stage and find a solution to get the ball in the basket down their end and maybe to work on their defensive transition if they do, turn the ball over. So it'll be interesting to see how they come back out, and it'll equally interesting to see if they change their defense on the Te Koutu end, maybe if they're going to full court pressure or if they're going to do something else. Let's see what they do.
For some aspiring young coaches who might look at Mel Bennett and see what you've coached through the years and go, okay, this is a wahine with a lot of wisdom. Do you have any personal philosophies about when you like to take timeouts or certain things that would get you to take it at different age groups, or is it just how you're feeling in that game?
Yeah, a lot of it's gut feeling. Like personally, I struggle having to blow my timeouts in the second half and the third and fourth. Obviously, would like to save them till the end and save the last two for the last 2 minutes in case you need to advance. But yeah, it just depends on the flow of the game. If you have to burn timeouts earlier than that because you need your team to be a bit more cohesive and to get on board with what you're trying to execute, then you have to call it when the time arises.
As we saw, an easy Kuru Whakau there for Waiheke Rio and Te Kura o Te Koutu. Up now 13-3. As the big Kuruwhiwhi Toru attempt is short, and the tūrapa with the outlet pass. And just turning into a bit of a track meet, which I feel suits Te Kura o Te Koutu at this early stage.
It does. They're just running away with it a little bit at the moment. And like we said earlier, the defensive transition needs to improve.
There's another tūrapa there, and away they come. Lovely pass over the top. And good use of balance there to keep her feet. Could have easily travelled, and away it comes. Te Kura Kokiri.
Waikimi here comes up with that steal there.
Their first Kuruwhiwhi Toru attempt is off the tapa. But they come down with the tūrapa. Bit of a wahine to wahine defence here from Te Kura Kokiri. And that is off the back tapa, away come.
They're generating great shots though.
Absolutely.
So, you know, that's a good shot to take.
And that's what you want on day one, isn't it? Not so much the execution as much as we like that, but the decision making, if it's right early,
yes,
becomes easy. Bit of a steal there, and again, great outlet pass, 2-on-1 opportunity. And a kick ball, so that's going to stay Te Kura o Te Koutu ball as subs come in.
I'm just looking down at the bench there, and although we mentioned Hermione playing on the roster, I see her, she's actually not suited up to play for this game, so either she's kept nursing an injury or, yeah, not sure what's happening there.
Well, hopefully it's not something too serious that she can come back and play a part later on in this tournament. Plenty of things to talk about as well on the show court. We've got table tennis, we have Connect 4, we've got cornhole.
Cornhole, what is that?
That's the one, you've got the little board, and you've got the little sack, and you've got to try and throw the sack into the hole on the board. You can see it.
Oh, great. Yeah, on
just
the
under
ramp
the
thing.
palm. Yeah, the little ramp, that's what I was looking for. Don't forget as well, we have some giveaways this week. Firstly, the Caltex Good Sport Award. And the little blurb, this award goes to someone here at the event who's done amazing things to help others make a huge effort or inspired those around them by going well over, above and beyond. Head to the BBNZ socials if you want to nominate someone, and it'll be presented at the award ceremony after the AA finals on Saturday. Entries close 11:59 p.m. Wednesday, 27th of September. Mal Bennett, if you had to nominate someone, and the winner gets $500. If you had to nominate someone, who would you put up for your Caltex Good Sport Award?
Any volunteer here, or was it just Basketball New Zealand in general?
I think it's anyone in general. We'll get that specified by the team, but if we went on general, who would you go?
I'd nominate Matua Mike Perry from Katikati College. So he's been running a program out there with youth at risk for a long time now, and this is the first year that they brought their team to Single A Premiership tournament.
Wow.
He drives these kids into all of their games, picks them up, drops them off, takes them out to dinner. He drives our Phi bus, drops us off to the airport and then comes back. He does school benching for anyone and everybody. He's just a top guy.
That's pretty tough to top already off the bat. But it's amazing the people like that who can hold those communities together. I mean, that team probably wouldn't be here without him.
No, they wouldn't.
Absolutely not. So
yeah, just a big shout out to Matua Mike Perry. We appreciate you.
tūrapa taken down by Te Kura o Te Koutu. And good defence there from Te Kura Kokiri. Just to slow that down as the Kuruwhiwhi Toru attempt is short. And that's going to hit the support, so it's going to be Te Kura Kokiri ball. With much better defensive position there, just to slow the transition down and force a half-court shot.
Another player that's here on the roster I don't see on the bench is Ngahira Tahaumaha.
Can you tell us a little bit about her, Mel?
So she's a talented athlete coming through, plays under 15. She was in the grand final at Nationals, and she's bottom age for our group anyway, but yeah, I don't see her sitting there today.
As we see, a jump ball is called, and it's going to stay same way. You see a nice little off-ball screen there Bit well defended. And to the hoop. And the Koutu whakau, nicely put in.
Waikimi here's got great footwork.
It's such an underrated art, isn't it, footwork?
Yes.
The earlier you can get that right, it must make your job a lot easier as you get into the old age groups if it's taught correctly.
Yeah, and she just puts defence on the back foot when she's able to step through, finish around the rim really nicely under contact. She absorbs pressure very well.
There's another basket there, and a little bit of full court pressure here from Te Kura o Te Koutu. Lovely little bounce pass though, and the finish, little floater, and much needed there for Te Kura Kokiri. A few more shots like that, Mel.
Yes.
Suddenly find themselves back in this game.
They just need to keep chipping away.
And great wall up there again. The verticality. Pass is tipped. Oh, the fadeaway. And the tūrapa ends up in the hands of Te Kura o Te Koutu.
This Te Kura Kokiri squad is very young too, so very much in development phase. So they'll just get stronger and stronger year by year.
It's so good for the future if you are able to bring young wahine through. So what we're looking at a lot of year 9s and 10s in this team now?
Yeah, there are a few juniors, and then there's some that have just been introduced to the representative system this year, played under 17s for Tauranga City. And like on the flip hand, you look at Te Kura o Te Koutu, and they've got a lot of Rotorua Basketball Association representatives as well. So,
what a finish.
Yeah, nice finish.
They went up and above the board and came in through the hoop. A nice little positive spurt here for Te Kura Kokiri. But again, even if you wall up with verticality, if you've got a player as strong as that who can finish through contact, that makes things so much easier, doesn't it, Mel?
Yes, it does, and she'll need to stay out of foul trouble, her and Waiheke, in order for Te Kura o Te Koutu to be successful today. Yeah, she's got speed on her.
As we're winding into the last minute of quarter number 1, this is girls single A action brought to you at Fly Palmy Arena. As they hit the Papamuri. And again, good work to hear from Te Kura Kokiri to get back on defense and force the travel. As we're going to see subs in both sides. Of course, speaking of other awards, we've got the Bailey's Altogether Better Award. So it offers your school the chance to win a $500 travel voucher to assist with the cost of attending Secondary School Nationals in 2023. To enter, head to the BBNZ Instagram page, find the Win with Bailey's post, and comment telling us why your team is hashtag #AltogetherBetter. Again, entries close Wednesday, 27th of September. As you see, a lovely finish there. Now, Mel, if my history is correct, sometimes my brain gets a little bit fuzzy, but were you involved with the under-15 women's team that got paid for by, was it New Zealand Carbon Farming? Was that correct?
Hanley's Farms.
That's a good one to get wrong straight off the bat.
Yeah, so shout out to Hanley's Farms for funding our girls to attend the tour to Guam last year for Oceania. Yeah, it was massive amount of funding, so thank you so much.
Got to speak to a few families who were recipients of that, and just the way that they spoke about it was amazing. So, I mean, it doesn't matter what sport you play, it's not a cheap thing to do at that level, so to have sponsors come on board like that is a fantastic thing, and well done to Basketball New Zealand as well for helping to get that organised. So just want to thank our other sponsors for this premierships. Of course, we broadcast on Whakasa Maori. Thank you, of course, to New Zealand Carbon Farming, Molten, the official ball, Caltex. Big thank you as well to Basketball Manawa too, and all the volunteers who are down here helping out, doing every school bench.
I'll give a shout out to Tess Petley.
Go for it.
She's amazing.
Elaborate. Go more. Go deeper.
Oh, she's the face of the organisation. She works so hard, works long hours, She's emailing everyone last week to get volunteers organised. So just a massive shout out, because she holds this stuff down every single year.
And there's nothing harder, is it, than trying to herd together volunteers who are giving up their time. And sometimes things come up. That means things are got to get rejiggled. But they do it with class. We couldn't do it without you.
And a smile. And a hug. Yeah.
Of course, a hot chocolate, if possible. Just about underway here in quarter number 2. Mal Bennett, is there any adjustments on either side that you'd like to see heading into the second quarter?
I think so. Pressure needs to be put more on Waikimi here in Waiheke. Te kura Kokiri, just maybe a couple of work-ons, defensive transition, spacing on offense. So especially around that zone, maybe trying to get some flash cuts or inside touches, and then kick the ball back out to move the defence, because it seems like they're not moving very much at the moment, especially the back three. But I think, just try and play into it, get the ball over half safely, defensive transition, and just some inside-outside game.
As I see, calling for the post-up, still in this 2-3 zone, Te Kura Koutu. And the Kuruwhiwhi Toru attempt is good, Mal Bennett.
Nice.
Scoring is underway in quarter number 2. And spacing was good on that one. Worked the ball around nicely.
It was. I love that confidence too. Just shoot the ball up. As soon as you're open, don't have a second thought about it. Just let it fly. And see, getting that one, it'll give them some confidence to shoot some more. And then Te Koutu will have to come out and contest that and play that honestly, and then maybe can get it inside touch.
Well, you're seeing it so much, especially with how much more women's college basketball we're able to watch in New Zealand. Players like Sabrina Nescu who bring that confidence from the outside. And they talk about with Tauahi League, if you can see it, you can be it. But for young wahine to see other wahine, let it fly, have that confidence, build those skills. It's only going to get better, isn't it?
It is going to get better. And I think one thing is that you have to train like you're playing. You have to bring that energy every single time you walk in the gym. You have to play with intensity and energy. You have to show grit. You have to show hustle. But, those scoring opportunities of just letting the ball fly from the perimeter is key.
And you see it as well so much, don't you, with age group international tournaments when they get that first introduction to how other countries operate and the ability to shoot. You can stay on the floor if you can do that.
Ooh.
Nice little up fake, and the hara is drawn. And that is going to be 2 shots. Always nice, isn't it, with the free throws as well, just to be able to pull a couple of players aside. Have a little conversation. Saves those timeouts, as we talked about before, Mel.
And to catch your breath. You see, this is halfway, we're only in the second quarter, but first game of the tournament, you'll see a lot of the players around the arena at the moment are gassed early in the game, and it's just conservation of energy, and as games go on throughout the tournament, they'll get better at it, but you can see it here, even though, because the game's picked up pace as well, we're running both ways, and you see players start to trail down the back.
Well, it just shows as well the length of this tournament where that depth really comes in hand.
It does.
What a pass that was there. But yeah, if you can run through all 12 and they can all bring you energy for the full 40 minutes. I mean, I've had some conversations with people around, you look at the professional game is 4x10. Would you ever make an adjustment to high school athletes playing a different amount of time?
I've never thought about it.
Putting you on the spot there.
I've never thought about it, but I'd probably just stick within the FIBA rules, to be fair, because otherwise, if they do get an opportunity to go overseas, it's the same structure. But then in saying that, hey, look, we play Rapid League. We got 4x4.
How did you find the Rapid League? Because obviously it was a new innovation this year for Tauahi League. How did you find it?
Interesting question. Like, some positives and opportunities for growth for our development players, especially our rangatahi. Really short time frame though, but what I did love about it was if you are staying in the development focus and playing like your 6th to 12th on the roster, everyone would have got minutes. So that was a good thing. They got to ball, they got to game, they got to play at a fast pace. Decision making fell on them because there were no timeouts. So I like that aspect of it. However, I guess financially it's difficult to travel with a full roster. Load is a concern, like especially for the 6th, 7th, 8th player, because they're obviously going to get minutes in the main game. And it just depends how you work your roster. Like, are you going to play imports in the rapid or in the starting? So a lot of experimenting went on, and we chose to stay with the development focus so we could not overload our starters.
It will be interesting. I saw Justin Nelson did come out and say, you know, these things, whenever you bring in innovation, there's always adjustments that need to be made. I think that's one I would change, is that imports can't play. If you play Rapid League, you can't play more than 40 minutes across both games. So max 24 minutes in the main game. I had one more, but I can't remember. But I think those would be the two main ones, because I think that load on the bodies, especially for players that we saw play full Rapid games and then over 30 minutes in the Tauihi League, I mean, it takes its toll. Yeah,
it does.
Especially when it's their livelihood these days.
Yeah, no, obviously well-being's important. And let's see what the new rules or any changes and amendments that have been made. But yeah, everyone got a chance to fill out a survey, give their whakaaro. So we'll see what comes back. And I'm sure they'll make a couple of changes here and there. But overall, like a real good concept in terms of spectator fan base for us, especially in our home games. So yeah, but great to see our young babies out there just balling out.
Well, I think it's awesome. Anytime you give our young people an opportunity in those kind of atmospheres to get used to playing in that, they're not just thrown straight into Tauihi League. They're like, hey, you're playing against some of the best of the best. Good luck. You know, it's just that little stepping stone. I think anytime we can get that stepping stone between secondary school hoops and professional basketball, I'm always going to applaud that. And also, please no one clip what we said about what we would change and send it to people.
Yeah, they're just thoughts. I didn't say I'd change anything. You did.
That's true. I have put on Twitter though what I would change, so it's not like it's not fresh thoughts off the top of my head.
Okay.
Besides, no one's going to listen to me anyway, so it doesn't matter. Little turnover there for Te Kura o Te Koutu. Oh, what a spin!
Nice.
Great ball movement there as well. Kuruwhiwhi Toru is in and out off the tapa. Offensive tūrapa though. And this Hula player wins that one and draws the hara. And Douglas Karauna is going to go to the line. As we have another look here at the drive. Again, that little step through, Mel.
Yeah, her footwork's great. She absorbs contact really well too.
How do you go about as a coach? Because, I mean, it can be such a tough thing to replicate, but not so much in team training, so you're going against other bodies, but in terms of individual training, how do you replicate those contact finishes?
So, like, what I've done in the past is just hit shields out like rugby pads and just pretty much make, repetitive contact with the player as they're trying to finish around the rim without them throwing the ball or moving backwards. Core balance is helpful. Yeah, but it's just trying to replicate those situations as much as possible. Sometimes it'll just be like one-on-one, two-on-two, because a lot of the time when they step through, help's coming over. So they have to blow by somebody and then get hit by another player. So one-on-two, yeah.
Oh, lovely little floater there. After the Kuruwhiwhi Toru, in both teams, you feel just starting to ease into this game, get a bit more comfortable. The initial nerves drying off, you see, off the little pick and pop. And a steal here, and carry ball is called. Not something you see in the modern day too often. Maybe she looked up and saw herself on the big... We do have the big screen here as well at Fly Palmy Arena in one of the end zones. Lovely spin and kick. And Douglas Karauna there, long off the tapa. Here comes Kura Kokiri. 2015 champions as well, Mel.
Yes.
So have a very proud history in this event. Oh, what a touch. And pass and finish off the Papamuri.
So the Nicholas Whānau, strong tradition in Poituko, who that team in particular, yeah, they're a great team. Sally Kude, Ripeka Nicholas, Taina Kore Tapiata. They had some great players in that group, and you know they're just such a big whānau. They travel in force. They hold so much mana, Te Kura Kokiri, so I just want to shout out to Matua Mark Nicholas. Yeah, he's the stalwart. He's the legend of Te Kura Kokiri and basketball, and all of his children as well.
The children, are they all still involved in hoops?
They are. They're all at the Kura. Like they work for the Kura. They work for their people. Yeah, they're amazing.
I think this the beautiful thing of the single A schools as opposed to the double A schools is it's such a tighter community. It's, as you said, those families that hold them together, and this is almost a celebration of that.
Beauty of these two schools too is that their role is so small. Like I'm sure Kura Kokiri maybe have 150 students. Don't quote me on that, but you know they're just such a small Kura. And the time that they won that competition, they were under 100, I believe, students. So to come out and win a national championship,
it's not about the size of your school.
It's amazing.
I remember when I went to Ames games when I was in intermediate many moons ago, and Tolaga Bay came second in the basketball.
Wow.
And I think in intermediate they had a roll of 38.
It's amazing.
So it's pretty cool. You don't always need the big roll numbers and lots of people to create these teams. Sometimes it's just having that little group of special people that come through. Where's travel there is cool.
No, you're right. It's the people behind the scenes that hold the program together.
And to be honest, actually, now that I think about it, in the bigger schools as well, if you've got the right people involved, magic can happen. Rosmini sprang to mind for me. When I was at school, we're a good but not great basketball school. And now you look at what Ambrose, Matt Lacey, Sonny have built, Nick Turpin as well, the manager. It's pretty insane that they're always there or thereabouts.
Yeah, no, and to finish top of the zone, right?
Yep. And a lovely little waiata there as well on the bench of Te Kura Kokiri.
That's what I love about that Kura too, is their kōrero Māori ngā wā katoa. So they always, you know, speaking Māori, coaching in Māori, uplifting each other, empowering each other with the use of the reo. So they're very strong on that as well.
I think it's probably always my favourite part of the single A prize giving. There's always a haka every year without fail. And I think it's beautiful as well, the different sports now that have got different hakas. It's not just kind of the All Blacks one that we grew up listening to. Basketball's got their own unique one. League's got their own unique one.
Yeah,
good verticality there on the defense. And Douglas Karauna gets called for a travel. And we're going to have another timeout taken here from Te Kura Kaupapa Māori o Te Kura Kokiri. But Mal, second quarter, have you been I mean, we're always happy people, but are you a little bit happy with how they've been going offensively and creating their better opportunities in the second quarter?
Well, I think Te Kura Kokiri have got a bit more comfortable, maybe a bit shell-shocked in the first quarter, turning the ball over, what have you, but they seem to be doing a better job. I think if they want to get back in the game, though, defensively, they're going to have to disrupt a little bit more and keep chipping away at the scoreboard, get some stops. And you'll notice, though, that Waikimihi and Waiheke have not yet had a substitution, so they'll be due for a break, or is actually Whaia Joe, Moana, going to play them a full 40 when they've got so many games left to come, and they're currently up by 24. She might want to rest them a little bit, perhaps, or, you know, I guess with pool play too, it can go on points count back, so you want to win by as much as possible, because Kokiri could show up in their next game and dominate, and everyone can beat each other.
Yep.
So you have to kind of wonder what the thought process is with, you know, a game that's starting to increase in differential, whether she's going to play her top two for the remainder of the game. We'll see what it's like after the half.
Oh gosh, we could talk the whole second half about points differentials and scores, especially around school age athletes, but as it is, again, Te Kura o Te Koutu still sitting in their 2-3 zone. A lovely give and go, just short there off the tapa. And away come Te Kura o Te Koutu. Just moving it around, still wahine to wahine defense. There's a lovely back cut and finish from Douglas Karauna.
It's great timing on that pass as well.
There's something so special about a good back cut, especially when it's fouled. I don't know what it is, but...
Oh, it's crazy, you know, when someone loses sight of their player, even if it's in a zone or they're out of rotation, and you find them like a Christmas present under the basket like that. It's beautiful to watch.
And then on the other side,
that's a coach killer.
Oh my God.
It's a coach killer, but hey, beautiful to watch at the same time.
Great hustle there from Maya Riwata to stick with it and get some points here in the final minute of quarter number 2, game number 1 of day 1 on the show court. Of course, Mel, how many courts have we got going in total? Is it 8? Might even be more.
Yes, 8 courts.
8
Sorry,
courts
just
going.
mentally counting in my head.
It's insane. There's not many tournaments like this, and I always say to people, if you ever get the opportunity to come down, please do.
Every round you can go court to court and just, yeah, it's super cool.
I love that on day 3 and 4 when the pools are starting to take shape and you just see herds of people running from court to court when they hear whispers of a potential upset or a team coming back. It's a special, special thing. As Te Kura o Te Koutu are in the bonus. So Te Kura, Kaupapa Maori o Te Kura Kokiri will shoot some free throws.
Can I ask you a question?
Go.
Who's your faves for single A's?
For single A's, I think Aquinas girls have got their whole team back, but I don't think they did as well as I thought they would at qualifiers.
They only came down with 7 players, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's tough.
I don't know. I always find
I think one game they had 4 left on the court and it went into overtime. They had to play a box 2-2 zone.
I mean, my big question in the boys is Opanaki, are they going to go for the 3-peat? Before them, Stratford went back-to-back.
Yes.
They've gone back-to-back. Can they break through? That'd be the first 3-peat. There's been 3 back-to-backs in the boys. No one's done the 3-peat. Can they be the first?
I think Ngā Taiatia are looking pretty good, and so is Rua Mata. So they've got all their players back. And
the girls or the boys? Because Ngā Taiatia last year, and girls and boys were spectacular, especially Ripeka Edwards, who was MVP of the girls.
I think boys, I'm looking. There's Ngā Taiatia, Rua Mata, and Aquinas.
Oh, Aquinas got a lot of Te Aroha.
Yes.
Players, right? That moved over with Alex moving to Tauranga full time.
Yes.
So this will be halftime here in game number 1. Te Kura o Te Koutu up 45-18 over Te Kura Kaupapa Maori o Te Kura Kokiri. We're going to take a quick break and we're going to be back with the second half.
This is an opportunity that we can't pass on. Ladies and gentlemen,
this isn't about what we wore back in the day.
We're going to go now. Going once, going twice. No more offers. Sold!
It's about being trusted to get a better result for our clients since 1973.
Sport is about more than just the game. It's about going from teammates to best mates. It's the high fives and helping hands. It's learning when to back yourself or back your buddies. It's actually being excited to get out of bed early on a Saturday. Sport is about more than just the game. That's why Caltex is proud to help fuel school sports.
From us, it's a huge thank you to New Zealand Carbon Farming. The opportunities and the sponsorship that's been provided is pretty crucial for our school.
We're buying new volleyball gear, so volleyball nets, balls and the stands to attach the volleyball nets to the floor. Volleyball is a very popular sport. Kids find it to be fun.
We'd just like to thank you from Tauranga High School. See.
Funding is a real challenge. We know that a lot of schools face that ongoing, and the reality is if you go to a lower decile school in New Zealand, you are less likely to be able to afford to participate in sport.
Obviously, having come through it myself with kids and being one of those kids myself who played sport, I know how much it defined who I was. And now being able to go, I can't fix it all, but we can help and try and give to those people who are going through really tough times.
Welcome back here to Fly Palmy Arena in Palmerston North for girls single A action. We've got Te Kura o Te Koutu up 45-18 over Te Kura Kaupapa Maori o Te Kura Kokiri. My name is Andrew Horrocks. Alongside me is head coach of the Phi, Mal Bennett. Mal, we're talking off air about some of the other games that are going on. Was there anything this afternoon that you're looking forward to seeing as well?
I'm looking forward to watching Tauranga Girls College play their next game at 4. I'm not too sure who they're playing. But also, yeah, I'm looking forward to Tauranga Girls and the Napier Girls matchup. Looking forward to watching Aquinas, who have just walked in the building. So they're playing at 2:15. I did want to watch Takapuna Grammar. I'll get to watch their next round. And I really do want to watch Ngā Taiatea boys, see how they... I've heard a lot about them.
Oh.
I want to go and watch them as well.
That'd be awesome, of course. Thank you to everyone who's helped bring this tournament together, especially the main sponsors, Moulton, Bailey's, New Zealand Carbon Farming, Caltex, Apollo Projects, and the New Zealand Community Trust. Of course, Glory League, who are filming every game. So looking forward to the athletes releasing their highlight reels after this through TikTok and Instagram. And, of course, Pure Athletic Clothing, who have a pop-up store downstairs in the main foyer. So if you want to come down and buy something to remember this tournament by, you can do so. Kids, please ask the bill payer first.
Shout out to Pure as well, because they provide us with our national team kit for the junior age groups.
Those look good too.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of those. So nearly underway here in quarter number 3. And it's always, you know, you find sometimes in local competitions, Mel, you only get like 1 or 2 minutes at halftime just because the amount of people that are playing basketball now, trying to fit them all in the gyms. But it's kind of nice, isn't it, as a coach, when you get that 5 minutes just to take a breather, actually think about what you want to say, get that message across. As it's going to be Te Kura o Te Koutu in the yellow with the green shorts to get us underway.
I wish I could have been in Te Kura Kokiri's half-time huddle just to see what Matua Kiharua was talking to the girls about, you know, to kind of re-energise them to get back into this game, see what they come out with.
Well, we did see an adjustment straight off the bat. They were in a 2-3 zone as well, so there's a lovely little hook pass there.
She was expecting a baseline cut there, but it didn't happen, so just a miscon.
But I like the idea, trying to think of different ways to get people open.
Oh.
There's another big steal, and Takura Kokiri starting out the brighter.
Here we go.
And a beautiful finish there from Hinirao Mihibio. But again, as the shot is long, and the tūrapa in the hands of Kaya Gates. Maybe that little 2-3 has given them a burst of energy here, Mel. They've definitely started the brighter of the two sides. And almost cursed them with the old commentator's curse, but no, it came off the defender's foot. As we have another look there, always nice to get in behind the defence, up in and off the Papa Moody. So ball battle for the tūrapa.
Nice. Oh, spacing.
Spacing and just a slightly softer.
I think she thought she was going to shoot it, not pass it off. So stayed there, maybe thinking she was going to go for the rebound, but...
Just a little issue with the scoring app that appears to have been resolved. So we're going to go back with a full 24 for Takura Koutu. And a chance to see, Mel, what zone offense they're going to be running. Always an interesting thing, coaches who kind of dismiss it and don't really put the time into prepare. But if you've got a good zone offense, it can be such a weapon. Lovely back cut. What a pass. Even off the tip, still managed to corral it.
Yeah, look, they're a bit stifled with this change-up in defence.
Almost in and out of the Papa Moody fight for the tūrapa. And away come Takura Kokiri. What a bounce pass.
Nice.
And the offensive tūrapa still found. Shot clock wasn't reset, so they got a few extra seconds here. That is going to be a Rua shot.
Oh.
But it's just a little energy plays, Mel.
Yes, it is.
I don't know, maybe they had a couple of Powerades at halftime. A few electrolytes.
Or maybe they just had a good motivational cordial from their coach and they've come back out. They've changed defensive tactic. They seem to be running the ball a lot better down the floor there. So let's see what transpires, because I think what they had just had 3 offensive O-boards, which, you know, offensive boards are great because it's another opportunity to score. They had to, you know, move the ball, trying to get better looks at the basket. See what they come out in now.
Lovely little up fake and step through, and just one step too many.
Bit of a step in that kind of netball little lob pass. I haven't seen that sort of pass for a while.
Hey, balance is better, multi-sport athletes.
Yes, exactly.
So long as they stick with basketball in the end, we're all good. Plenty of time here after getting the ball up so quickly. Here's Douglas Karauna with the spin, finds a cutter.
That's crucial, those weak side cuts when you get double teamed on a post entry like that and turnover.
It was such a well-angled cut as well, because sometimes it's not just the cut, it's actually the angle that you attack with that can make or break it. Douglas Karauna with the left hand, and travel is called, so that is going to be no basket. As we have another look here on the action replay. Still looking for a sponsor for that. If you're interested, please contact Catherine with 2 N's at basketball.nz. Everything's up for grabs, isn't it, for sponsorship now?
It is.
And stepped on the line. So a bit of a defensive battle here to start quarter number 3 on the show court at Fly Palmy. And don't let the stands fool you. Behind us, there is 7 other courts that get so loud when it really gets into it. It's extremely loud next door already, especially on the 3-court side. You got coaches yelling at athletes, they can't even hear what's going on. Yelling respectfully.
Yes, yelling respectfully. Yelling because they're not getting heard, so yelling louder. I think Adam Morgan's losing his voice already.
Oh my God, shout out to Jamie Reddish, who put me onto vocal zones. If you haven't had those, you can get them at the Chemist Warehouse. They're not the nicest tasting things, but my goodness, do they do the job. Great look up, pass ahead. And good work here from Takura Koutu. And again, there's that little slice. But off the tapa, and the Papamuri is
Good
fought
hustle.
for. Anytime you fight, things can happen.
That's what you want to see, though, is those, you know, 1%ers dive on a loose ball.
And Maya Tapiata just gets caught with the ball as the shot clock runs down. Only got 2 points, though, thus far. Nearly halfway through quarter number 3, so the 2-3 adjustment has worked.
It's 2-all this quarter. So, sorry, I'll just do my little math since I've got no stats. So it's, you know, it's still a 27-point deficit like it was at half-time. But Kokiri are doing a better job in D-trans. They're stopping the ball, even if they're mismatched, they're stopping the ball straight away. And the defensive change-up with the zone has put them on hold for a little bit.
Good verticality there from Tapiata, but it can almost be a little light bulb moment, can't it? It's game number 1.
Yes.
If I'm in these positions, what are little things that I can put in as a Kuruwhiwhi Toru attempt is off the tapa? But what can I put in future games that might give my team an advantage moving forward? Which they might have just found a little bit.
I think the difference in this half is Te Koutu were very patient with half-court execution. We've seen this quarter, they've come down and they're shooting the ball within 8 seconds on the shot clock is gone, and they're trying to shoot the ball or score.
It reminds me of the early 90s UNLV running Rebels. 4-second or less offense. And I had to research that one because that was before my time. Just. Long shot there, hits the tapa. And again, Te Kokiri. Little Euro step and the
Nuku.
finish. Beautiful there from Ihipera Nuku.
There's a little bit more intensity this quarter from Kokiri.
Well, just their speed, especially getting back.
Yes.
That's where Te Koutu really got the advantage in quarter number 1 and 2, was getting in behind the defense, those 2-on-1s, even the 1-and-0s. And anyone can run a layup drill.
Anyone.
Theoretically.
You'll see the extended pressure again from Te Koutu.
I really like as well, it's not quite a trap, but it's almost putting Tuwahine close to the ball on those corners, really just trying to force that pass wild over the top. I always love the little X's and O's adjustments that we can see within these championships.
That small extension of pressure, though, it adds another level of anxiety if you're the ball carrier, right? To cough the ball up early.
We always think if you catch the ball on the 3-point line, one dribble and finish. If you're having to catch the ball 1 or 2 more feet out, suddenly you become in those half spaces.
And you're not a threat.
Although you see some of the kids shooting these days, always a threat.
Yeah.
Once they step over half court. Here is Kaio, little handoff to Irahei, and she draws the hara. Against zone, Mel, do you have, because I know we can talk about X's and O's for days, but do you have any overriding philosophies that you like your teams to run against a zone?
I guess it depends on the personnel that we've got, but if we've got crafty guards that are really good at coming off on-ball screens, we'll just run a straight drags and try and get middle penetration, get feet in the paint, draw defense, and then kick out to the 3. Look for the open shot, or otherwise repenetrate and try and kick out again. So the other one is to get a lot of ball movement, post cuts, depending if you've got a post on the floor or not. But if you've got some crafty guards with ball in hand, we just go set a straight drag screen.
I like it. I got to assist Jason Crummer last year for the first time. A man who I've always respected away at the moment as well, with the under, is it 16 at the moment? It must be under 17 World Cup next year. Under 16 New Zealand boys.
They did well, didn't they?
They did amazingly well.
Super proud of them, of Leighton, his staff, and the team. Like, it was amazing. Alarm went off at 5:30 this morning. I'm just switching it on like every morning, early morning games. It doesn't matter. You do not get to watch our teams play on that stage very often. So, no, absolutely super proud of them. They turned a lot of heads.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think as well, it goes to show the benefit of the under-14 New Zealand camp that Dave Mackay runs in Rotorua.
And unfortunately doesn't run anymore.
What?
No, yeah.
Nah, bring that
I'm
back.
wondering if it's coming back. I hope
Surely.
it does. Because you've seen players come through the generations like the Florence Dellos, all of those kids have been through there. But just a massive shout out to Oscar Goodman for tournament MVP.
That's
and
insane.
Also to Lockie Crate. And they'll be coming back to join their team. So
some tire bodies there, but anyway, the story was that was the age group I was lucky enough to be involved with this group, and you saw it then, and for them to evolve into what they did in the Asia Cup, because it always used to be Oceania and didn't always have the toughest games before the Australian matchup. So now just to get those competitive games, and to be honest, the way that they played, they didn't make many of them very competitive. It bodes so well for the future, especially those second generation players like Hayden.
Yeah, he had a phenomenal final, I thought.
Phil will probably shrug his shoulders and be like, yeah, he's all right. Doing not too badly. But it's awesome to see as well. Made his debut for the Nelson Giants this year in the Sal's NBL.
Yeah, it's super awesome. And then, you know, Oscar with the Airs and Lockie with the Jets. So there's definitely opportunities for our young ones to go up against the best and get better.
Cool to see Jets head coach Natu Tafali, Nuggets head coach Brent Matahari, who's actually an assistant for Otago boys this year.
Yes.
In attendance as well, but a chance for them to see some young prospects. I still remember Jack Andrew in 2019 was playing single A's. I'd never seen him before, and then suddenly he's in the Nuggets the next year and taking off. And then on the other side, Mel, I'm sure you've got a little eye around looking for some players potentially for 2024 with the Fly.
No, the main focus for me at this tournament is to make sure that we've captured a group of girls for Worlds in Mexico next year. So yeah, you know, a lot of these girls playing here are of the age group that can come. So just making sure that we've got our eyes across everybody at this tournament. And there's a lot of girls born in 2007 and 2008 here to look at. Even a couple born in 2009 that are super talented.
I always find it amazing. I mean, it's tough enough sometimes picking teams at a school or representative level. But then for a decision like you've got, Mel, to take the best of the best, it can't be very easy to narrow that down to the final 12.
Well, it comes down to on-court like ability and talent, but it also comes down to what they're like off-court, character, behaviour, and you can just see. I watch kids when they get subbed out. How do they uplift their teammates? Are they good on-court leaders? Because everyone that should be, I'm looking at for our age group next year, should be on-court leaders now. And the best of the best in their team and wanting to make everyone else better around them.
I guess that's a nice segue into Mel's 2 top tips for younger people who are watching this, might not be at the age of playing in this tournament. What are 2 things that you'd recommend to young players to work on to help themselves improve?
The first thing is just to keep grinding and work hard. Like, work ethic beats talent, beats anything else. If you've got a massive work rate, massive work ethic, and the other thing is to have accountability, which is probably more of a value more than anything else, but be accountable to yourself, to your family, to your team, your coaches, because with that word accountability comes a lot of different character traits as well, like honesty, respect. So that's my 2 top tips, is work ethic, work hard, and accountability.
As we've got to see a hara called Koutu, and I've got Takura Kokiri up 8-6 in this quarter, so they've turned it around with just over a minute and change to play here in quarter number 3, live stream game number 1 of the 2023 Girls Single A Championships. little action there for the easy basket. Get into double figures for the quarter.
If they can get, say, down to 21, like they've narrowed that margin by 6. Get a stop. Ooh.
Good look there, but just off the tapa there with the Kuruwhiwhi Toru attempt. And so are we going to see a 2-for-1 opportunity here? We might just do so if they can get their spacing correct. Kuruwhiwhi Toru attempt off the back tapa.
And the rebound.
Up with the right hand and draws the hara.
I was wondering if they're going to call something because it was... Yeah, different looking team this quarter.
Absolutely. I don't know, yeah, again, what the korero was within that team bench. I might have a look at our producer and say, is there a possibility for the finals? Can we get a sideline commentator? Find out what we can hear from teams during those timeouts and those halftime huddles.
Yeah, that is a good thing to have because you can get some feedback about what's being said. Because obviously you can't mic up the coaches here, right?
I've found that interesting tournaments. I saw it at the Men's World Cup. I know in the NBA you can't use mic up moments, and I think it's ANBL as well in the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. And they were still miking Pero up. And I don't know if you saw that clip of Zico trying to box out the cameraman to stop them from getting inside. Always
yes.
Zico, always thinking one step ahead.
Yes. Zico doing Zico things.
Yeah. Three-quarter time here at Fly Palmy Arena. Te Kura o Te Koutu up 51-29 over Te Kura Kaupapa Maori o Te Kura Kokiri. Andrew Horrocks alongside Mal Bennett. And so we talk about World Champs next year for you.
Ooh,
talk us a little bit more about that. Whereabouts in Mexico? What preparations, what camps have you got coming up to help you prepare for that?
We've actually got a camp coming up shortly. We've got a touch point camp coming up in November. And the rest of what our prep looks like is still to be confirmed. But we're hoping to have another couple of camps after that to get the girls together. So our camp coming up in November is just for New Zealand-based athletes. And because obviously we had some Australian-based athletes, now one of those girls is playing in the States.
Yep.
So, yeah, we're just looking at what's here at the moment before, and we're wanting to run something this side of Christmas, set some fitness standards, develop some IPPs, some individual like player performance plans, and just moving forward. Yeah, so it's a bit of a long process. We're 9 months out and we've got things set in place, so we just have to get all of our ducks in a row before we can release our formal calendar.
And I might get shredded on the socials for my lack of awareness around this, but has the draw been done yet for that tournament?
No, so we do not know who's in our pool, but we do know who's going. So preparation on our side at the moment is both of our assistant coaches are working hard behind the scenes, developing like a concrete list of style of play from each country that's going, and player scouting. Yeah, so there's a lot of work going on at the moment, so we're as prepared as we possibly can be.
Is there any countries you, not in terms of basketball, that you prefer to play, but is any just countries in general that you'd be like, yep, so it'd be awesome to coach against this country?
I'd love to play against USA.
Take them on?
Yeah, for sure.
Go against the best? Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, back underway here in quarter number 4. Te Kura Kaupapa Maori o Te Kura Kokiri have the ball in the white. Again, my early entry for uniform of the tournament. But as we get deeper, we'll get to see more options available. Offensive rebound here, still in that 2-3 zone. And step through was Hipera Nuku. Just rejected on that one, but they're still going to get the baseline inbound with 1 second on the shot clock. So we're going to need a catch and shoot situation here. There's the catch, and well defended from Te Kura o Te Koutu. So it's going to be their ball. If there's one rule I could change in 5-on-5, Mel, I wish we could replicate 3x3s hell ball rule, where defence always gets it.
Oh, yes.
I'd love to replicate that. It's such a good reward for some effort on the defensive end. What about you? If you were CEO of FIBA and you could change any rule in basketball, what would you change?
Another question I've never thought about. Probably, I'd want to have coach challenge, which is very hard because you need to have digital access for that. But I'd like to implement coach challenge in the last 2 minutes of games.
Yep. So I think World Championships, they get one, right? Would you like to have a second one, but only for that time period? So you get one for the whole game and then one in the last 2 minutes.
I'd like to play a timeout.
Ooh. So you've been a big fan of the change with that?
Not initially, but I think if it's like last year, we struggled to use it right. But after watching the men's NBL this year, figuring out ways we could use it better, utilise it better, I think a player timeout would be great.
I like it. Innovation starting in New Zealand. Just like the number 8 wire making its way potentially worldwide when Mal Bennett is running things. Why not?
Yeah, that's not happening.
I don't see why not. Right, here we go. Kura to Koutu, little handoff on the right-hand side. Again, that weak side as well. They've got both sides thus far. Can they find that paint touch? Yes, they can. Leads to the wide open. Kurufifi Toru. Good offense there. Mal, nice and patient.
Yes, and because Waikimi here she practices shooting the three-point ball a lot.
As we see, it's almost like a hybrid 2-on-2 defense there from Kura to Koutu. Rather than the traditional 2-3 high-low split, put that defender in the middle of the paint. No defensive 3 seconds, why not? Kurufifi Toru attempt is good again. Beautiful finish there from Iranui Stone Taylor.
So now they've extended their lead from actually the half by another 2 points. So with that 29 points differential, I'm wondering if coach will maybe call a timeout.
As the hara is drawn there, that's going to be silent inbound. But again, one of those differentiators, if you don't want to burn your timeout, bring in 2 subs. Give them a couple of messages of things you want to talk through. I always find that a hard one coaching when you want to make that change and then...
Last quarter, 7 minutes to go, you're 29 points down. What have you got to lose by calling a timeout now to just...
Good point, yep.
Or, like you said, he just rotated some players in. Can they bring the energy that they're going to need?
As no foul is called there. Bit of incidental contact.
Hope she's okay.
That's the key thing, isn't it? As we have another look at it. And yeah, completely incidental. And so it's going to stay to Koutu ball.
She's tough. She gets up.
What a bounce pass there into a driving
nice
Douglas Karauna. They're getting some nice looks, aren't they, here in this fourth quarter? They got floundered a little bit in quarter number 3.
They got third quarter itis.
Yeah. What is, I mean, I don't know if you've ever had teams that have got that, but what are some things that you like to do to try and bring that energy back into to start the third quarter?
To start the third quarter and the half. Some things I like to do, like if we've got, tracking happening on the bench, is to highlight some stats that we've done really well at, things that we need to work on. But usually it's just maybe one offensive message, one defensive message, give them time to have a breather. But if we're down by a lot, it's a bit louder. Auntie
Mel comes out.
It's a bit louder. But, just refocus, like how well are we executing the game plan? What are we trying to achieve? Are we doing that at the moment? Are we generating the shots we wanted? Why not? Try and get some feedback from the athletes, but
that was almost the finish of the day for me. Just stumbling and put it up. But again, a little bit of hustle there, builds the turnover. Oh,
nice
lovely
pass.
fake and pass.
That was nice.
And Kaya Gates, the recipient there with the Koutu Whakau. The layup for the people at home. It's interesting, even back home at Harbour, Mel, people are starting to recognise the kupu a little bit more.
Yes.
Putting it into their trainings, they recognise what we're talking about. It's a beautiful thing.
I was actually listening to some commentary from D-League and under-23s. It was really good. It was really good to hear the kupu coming out.
I know we've got Rapid and Tauihi, but it would be amazing if we could try and find a way for kind of like an underlying almost club league to run, because it used to be in the 2000s. Once upon a time they had national club championships. Again, always, how can we find more ways?
So there's a transition space?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Canterbury are doing an amazing thing with their club basketball down there. Tauranga starting, they've got clubs at the moment. Yeah, so it's just, a lot of it is association led, but if there was some national type of activity going in that space, that would be great.
I'm excited for Tauranga basketball moving forward. I think now that you've got the structures in place and the whole see it do it thing, it's going to be cool to see what comes in underneath that moving forward.
No, it is exciting, and you know, we've got our men's team starting next year as well, which is great.
Can you give us any sneak peeks on who we might see?
I can't give you anything, sorry. Oh. and not because I don't want to, is because, you know, I'm in the women's space, so.
No, fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah, because we've just gone back to academy, getting ready for Shit Cup, but yeah, and that's that'll come out when it gets announced and who's on the rosters for that. But it's just exciting.
I do remember last year's men's team, and I wonder if some of those might feature in Sal's NBL 2024.
Oh, done at Shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you go to that last year?
No, I didn't.
Are you going this year? Are you excited?
Very.
Is there anything that you like about 3x3 more than 5-on-5?
Just the amount of touches you get to have with the ball, the sped up shot clock, you know, and just being able to create advantages is very cool.
Yep.
Decision making is a big part and parcel of 3x3. It's super exciting, shorter format, you can get multiple games in one day. I guess with that tournament in particular too, is that everyone's in the house. Yeah, it's a bit of a vibe.
I think it's cool as well, the associations that are starting to get behind 3x3, especially in the younger age groups, as kids are getting introduced to the sport, using 3x3 where, as you said, more touches.
Yeah, it's just an opportunity to play, really, and so, like, Tauranga City have got a 3x3 competition starting tonight. So
plug it away.
So it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
How many teams have you got entered in that, do you know?
For 5? For TCBA?
For TCBA?
Yeah, I'm actually not too sure. I'm hoping to have a look on the socials tonight and catch up on that. So I'm sure Helen's working her magic behind the scenes.
Again, a little dribble handoff here for Takura Koutu. And again, that little just paint cut leads to the hara being called.
You know, if we started the game at half-time, I think, you know...
It's always the way sometimes, isn't it, as a coach? Like, oh, if we just played the whole game as that second half. But no, you're right.
But I think, you know, Kokiri will only improve after this game. take this one as a starting point, you know, and I'm sure Coach Kiharoa will take some notes down on improvements that can be made moving into the next game. But
I think it's great to see he's made adjustments.
Yes.
And his wahine have listened. And they're executing it. And I think, regardless of the result, as a coach, that's something you can always be proud of when you can convey those on-the-fly adjustments. Kuruwhiwhi Toru attempt is short off the tapa, and away come Te Kura Kokiri. 2-on-2. And a big block there from Iranui Stone Taylor.
Oh. You'll see too that Coach Moana, she's starting to rotate players out. So Douglas Corona has taken a seat.
And I'm sure a player that we're going to see at the back end of this tournament as well.
This team is, you know, potentially could go all the way to the top. It's just you start end of tomorrow night, like all of Wednesday. That's when you start to see the fatigue setting in, and how well are they recovering in between. And because they have a small bench, they only have 5. And then you look over to Te Kura Kokiri, who've got numbers, so can afford to rotate moving into their next game. It just depends who they're up against next.
Great finish there from Moi Waka Allen. But yeah, it's tournament play. It's a whole different beast, isn't it?
It is a whole different beast. Kokiri could lose this game and bounce back and perform in others, and just push the pool to the brink.
And we've definitely seen it in tournaments past of teams that haven't started the strongest, but then have found that little X factor that gets them going, and then suddenly they're away. And tūrapa there for Te Kura Te Koutu. Nearly a coast-to-coast opportunity there.
Yes.
Don't see those often after a free throw attempt.
Oh, Douglas Corona's coming back in, and I bet you she's subbing out Waiheke. Oh, and she is.
You're always one step ahead, aren't you, Mel? Sign of a good coach right there. You can just look at a game and just work out the stuff straight away that your other people are doing. As that gets tipped off the sponsor's sign. Caltex with some activations down here, so if you're around, come down and get involved. We talked before about the Caltex A Good Sport Award. Entries close 11:59 on Wednesday, the 27th of September. You can find that on all of the BBNZ socials. Otherwise, words will be had with Liam about why that hasn't been posted and we can't find it. Three minutes and change to play.
Just a massive shout out to the tumuaki of Te Kura Te Koutu as well, to Matua Koa Douglas. I'm sure you'd love to be down here watching your Kura ball out, and you'll be very happy with and proud of how the girls have performed this morning.
Don't forget as well, for you watching at home, we do for 2023 have a second court operating. The first game over there will be at 2:15, so our next round. So we're having two courts going side by side. Really stretches the production team. But when you're working with the best, easy, isn't it, Rich? Gives me 2 thumbs up, little okay. Thankfully, the director over there has had plenty of opportunity. Rich taking a well-deserved European vacation.
Nice.
To get himself nice and relaxed for this. Now doesn't want to listen to us anymore by taking his headphones off, sweet as. And muting his mic so he doesn't talk back to us. Beautiful. Oh, he speaks fluent Italian, so we're going to actually offer 3 languages moving forward. We're going to have Tareo, English and Italian, courtesy of our producers. There's a lovely kudu whakau.
Nice finish.
Oh, actually, no, we're going 4 languages. We're going to have German as well. Camerawoman Jess, fluent German speaker, I'm told. I think it's crazy. I was actually looking up the other day because the extended use now we have of te reo. And I love it. I'm not the best te reo speaker by any stretch, but willing to embrace and learn. And I think it's 60%. No, I'm going to muck this up badly. I think it's 60% of the world is bilingual or more. So the more languages that people can speak, especially when we've got such a beautiful language in our home country, I'm all for it. I'm loving listening to you speak it, Mel.
It's certainly more normalised these days, but it could be better.
Be the change we want to be.
Yes.
We're trying to implement it more and more as we can. Big steal there. Little 2-on-2 action here. And a beautiful find and finish. Almost like a little training game that, wasn't it? Those little 2-on-2 inside the paint ones.
Yes. That's the best. 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, and just extension up to 5-on-5.
The Tūrapa fought for here. And eventually with the step through,
Nice.
nearly the and one. Kaya Gates, she's actually been a standout for me, Mel, thus far for the Te Kura Kokiri team.
Hard worker, especially at the top of the zone.
Off the tapa with the first.
I've
Yes.
actually liked Hinedo Mihi-Bill as well. Number 8 for Te Kura Kokiri.
Converts the second Kuru Tautuku. 68 plays 38. Been very even this second half.
There she goes.
Out to the races, 2-on-2.
Nice pass.
And Kaya
Yep,
Gates. Felt cool. Is going to be on a Douglas Karauna. You can just see in behind the bench as well of Te Kura o Te Koutu, the St. Kentigern boys warming up for their first game of the day. 2019 champions in the boys AA. Saw Shalom Broughton as well.
Yes, he's
before.
here watching Shamara and Karis play for Mount, his twin sisters.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So what is there, four siblings? Salem
5. So
5.
Angel's the oldest, then Shalom, then Salem, and then Karis and Shamar, the twins. Yeah.
I saw Dion Moores before. She's got her youngest daughter is third form, year 9, so at her first championships. And those families that just keep going through. Was chatting to Jenny Fotu last night. Now that Jacob's finished high school, her 4 siblings are done, or her 4 kids are done and dusted with secondary schools. That was a 13-year odyssey for the parents to not only fundraise for their kids to attend, but for them to come down as well to support. It's going to be cool to see Ella back playing next year.
Yes, it will be. No doubt she's working hard, rehabbing.
As Douglas Rana there takes a seat again. Been a fantastic game.
Well done to Te Kura o Te Koutu. They would have wanted to start this tournament strong and to build some momentum going into the next games to hopefully get through it to the top 4 and then onto the grand final. That'll be in their sights. So wishing them the best of luck for the rest of the tournament, and also to Te Kura Kokiri for the rest of their games for the tournament, and hopefully they make some improvements from this game onto the next game.
And of course the finals won't just be on YouTube, they'll also be live and exclusive on Whakata Māori. As we say hello to Ryan Doubledam, who will be joining me next game for St. John's College versus St. Kentigern's.
That will be a good game.
I'm looking forward to it. They're all good games at the end of the day, aren't they?
They are. They're all good games.
So that is going to do it for game number 1 for Andrew Horrocks. Alongside me, Mal Bennett. Te Kura o Te Koutu 70, Te Kura Kaupapa Maori o Te Kura Kokiri 41. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be back soon with boys AA action at St John's College versus St Kentigern. Until that time, we'll see you soon.
Funding is a real challenge. We know that a lot of schools face that ongoing, and the reality is if you go to a lower decile school in New Zealand, you are less likely to be able to afford to participate in sport.
Obviously, having come through it myself with kids and being one of those kids myself who played sport, I know how much it defined who I was. And now being able to go, I can't fix it all, but we can help and try and give to those people who are going through a tough time. It's a real privilege, but you know, for us, we want to see others get involved in this. This is not a selfish thing for Apollo. This is about how can we get, whether it's construction or other businesses, to get involved in this.
There's a lot of things that kids miss out on, and so to have businesses step up and want to be involved and to help is a game changer for schools. It really is.
This is a call to action.
It was really hard to try and keep it together every day.
I need some help.
Simple tools.
Is he here with his body or is he up here with his hinengaro?
For parents in need.
E tino he hena hau ki te whakapakari, i ahau anō.
Tāhua. Mai te tirohanga Māori. Kids don't come with a manual with Nathan Wallace. Ki whakaata Māori, me Māori Plus.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
This isn't about long-distance calling, technology, or living overseas.
Do I have one more bid? Thank you.
We're going to go once. We're going twice.
And we are sold to the Kiwi phone bidder from Manchester.
It's about Bailey's finding buyers that others can't.
Hey. Sport is about more than just the game. It's about going from teammates to best mates. It's the high fives and helping hands. It's learning when to back yourself or back your buddies. It's actually being excited to get out of bed early on a Saturday. Sport is about more than just the game. That's why Caltex is proud to help fuel school sports.
So sponsorship from New Zealand Carbon Farming has been fantastic for our sports teams actually who went away to tournament week. We're a community who's driven by sport, but often money and the cost of travel, accommodation and uniform can be a barrier for some of our students. And to come out with a new uniform for a number of sports, particularly our basketball teams who have been away at nationals, has been uplifting for the students and for our community. The support from the Carbon Farming has been wonderful.
Without them, then we wouldn't look like this.
You want your tamariki to be a part of the community. Keep getting all these feelings like he's never going to fit.
That gets pretty hard. I'm so grateful that Clara has answered those prayers.
There's just always this bias away from our tamariki. We really need this done.
Our code of compliance, it's a big thing, and we ain't gonna just stop because we're stressed.
Super Kura, ki whakaata Māori, me Māori Plus.
Welcome back here to Fly Palmy Arena for game number 2 on the live stream on Monday. AA boys Pool A action, St John's taking on St Kentigern. My name is Andrew Horrocks, and alongside me a man who's about to go on a nice little vacation to Papua New Guinea with the New Zealand under-17 girls team, Ryan Dulldam.
I'm not sure it's a vacation, Andrew, but all business trying to qualify for the next step of the cycle. But first we have a game here in front of us that we've got to take care of.
Absolutely. We'll get into your role a little bit more there, but we're going to get into the St Kentigern College lineup. Number 6, Frankie Groves. Number 7, Jacob Neary. 10, Charlie Hughes. 13, George Turner, a man I'm looking forward to watching a lot in this one. 5, Cooper Lepo. 14, Maxwell Johnson. 23, Ari Taylor. 24, Broughton Wienik. 8, Hunter Teratana. 44, Noah Hickey. And 54, Luke Franich, without the inspirational head coach Aaron Young, who's taken up an assistant coach role with Perth Wildcats. We've got Val Teratana, assistant coach Martin Gann, and manager Roxanne English. On the other side for St John's, we've got number 4, Samuel Magoff. Number 5, Elias Lepo. So battle of the brothers in this one. Number 6, Bobby Neals. Number 7, Dylan Howe. 8, Kobe Reed. 9, Carter Hamlin. 10, Vince Linden. 11, Manai Heke. 12, Dominic Pearce. 13, Kyan Daniels. 14, Hunter Saville. And number 15, Max Skinner. Head coach Pookie Linden, assistant coach Brandon Were, and manager Jauna Simmons. Just quickly before we get into this game, Ryan, assistant coach, what's your main focus, both pre-tournament and then in tournament with the team?
Pre-tournament right now, we're just looking at our girls who are involved in this tournament. Like, athlete welfare is going to be a big thing with back-to-back tournaments, so making sure the niggles are taken care of. If we can take some minutes off their legs here and there, that'd be really good. And outside of that is some film in Samoa. So we're looking who's on their list, what tournaments have they played in previously. So been cutting up a bit of film so we can get a bit of an advantage game 1 early next week.
Of course, this tournament coming from the perfect time in terms of me being able to pick your brain. Day 1, game 1 of the tournament. What are your biggest pre-game messages to your teams?
I think you just want to really find a good rhythm. I was watching Stack before, and they struggled in the first quarter, but eventually found a good rhythm. So it's taking care of business while you're finding a good rhythm. It's a long tournament, 6 days of basketball. It's a grind, so you want to stay healthy and find that rhythm.
And it does make you wonder how many coffees the coach is going to go through. I remember Josh Davis, once he got to morning 4 or 5, there was a long stack of coffee cups that were sitting by him. So St John's are going to be in the white. St Kentigern College will be in their traditional blue. And Ryan, any predictions for this one? St John's came into it, they finished 3rd in Zone 2 qualifiers. St Kentigern's finished 5th in Zone 1.
No, I think it should be a pretty even matchup, so it'll be interesting to see who can get the upper hand here early going in the tournament. Obviously St Kent's had a really good tournament last year, but have lost a few players, Merrick Rillestone of note, as well as their coach. So perhaps a rebuilding year, but we shall see.
Well, no, Hunter Teratana as well is currently potentially on a plane back from Doha. Will be coming back and joining this team later on in the tournament.
I think they're due back Wednesday, all the boys that have been over competing for New Zealand in the Middle East.
That's tough to go play a tournament of that nature, and St Kentigern's are getting us underway first through George Turner. Little handoff there with Frankie Groves into an on-ball. Flips it nicely, get a chance to look at what on-ball sets St John's are running is George Turner there with the easy pull-up.
Just too strong there, eh?
And thinking too much about his mid-range shot. Gets back cut, and it's 2 apiece. Good confident first possessions for both teams there.
Yeah, early pressure by St John's, seeing if they can speed up St Kent's.
Turner to the hoop is stripped and decided it came off him.
Interesting from St John's, they switched the first ball screen. That ball screen is a little bit more passive. Both players stayed with the ball.
Well, you wonder what zone it was on the court, Ryan. You know, you look at top teams who can run those different looks based on where the on-ball happens. Wonder if Pookies may be running now, though they seem to be running pretty similar spots.
Yeah. Lots of drag ball screens, the middle on balls.
Again, on that one as well, we must see a double on the ball. Groves is stripped.
Nice look inside there by St. Kitts.
One of my favourite things as well now, right? Let's see what X's and O's they run. And this is still an Aaron Young special. I remember this one from both 2019 and last year.
So baseline out, St. John's drop into a 2-3 zone.
Smart there from Pookie. What percentage of inbound plays do you reckon Coach as Turner there acrobatically have zone versus man-to-man?
Oh, probably got one or two versus zone, or perhaps 4 to 6 against the man.
Kuruwhiwhi Toru attempt is off the tapa and the Papamuri. Tūrapa into the hands there of Turner. And away he comes there for St. Kentigern's.
Jump ball.
Into rail. Throw under the bus. Is that on there?
It is not on there, unfortunately. I was looking for it.
Matua Ethan Smith, if you're listening, and I know you are, we're willing to extend ourselves in the commentary booth with a bit more te reo, a bit more kupu. Send it our way as the hara is called. Hara meaning foul. And that's going to be on number 14, Maxwell Johnson, St. John's. Sideline inbound. Little box action to start.
Baseline runner, maybe a little post up for number 8.
Right, let's have a look at it.
Middle ball screen. Nice rejection.
They were setting up as well on the
off.
inbound side. It looked as though they were going to run a little back cut for the inbounder. Something to keep an eye on. Here's Heke in the 44. Turner again off that middle on ball.
An aggressive coverage. So a third different coverage shown by St. John's on the ball screen. Passive that time. Two different ones in the same position.
Groves just didn't have his feet set there on that screen. Offensive foul called. It's tough on athletes sometimes, but I'm always a fan of if they're not perfectly set. The only way to learn.
Yeah, a lot of the time, if you're going to pull them up on those small things, it's just going to help them get there a bit faster. Otherwise, they'll build the bad habits and they get to big tournaments like this and then they get themselves in trouble.
That was a beautiful spin move there from Anai Heke. And almost got lost in the sauce on that one. The spin was too good. And trying to find Frankie Groves there on the cut. But St. Kitts there looking to be very active with their big man.
Yeah, second or third time we looked inside after the aggressive coverage is St. John's draw the hara.
And to the line is Carter Hamlin.
First subs made by St. Kitts.
And he's going to shoot a pair of
Franich in for Frankie Groves.
Now it makes it interesting, doesn't it? Both offensively and defensively how they change, because there's very much a pick and roll off the screens there. Do they go for a pop action?
Generally, if it's a passive coverage, so this is where the defender doesn't get above the screener's player, they will pop it. And if it's aggressive, they'll dive.
Drop some knowledge, double dam.
Trying to keep up with Zico from yesteryear.
Oh my goodness. Zico in 2018, go back and listen to it. It's unreal.
Knowledge bombs.
With Chris Tupu as well.
Nice.
Right, here is Turner. A little bit of extended coverage there from St. John's. Heke just a bit loose with the spin. And away come St. John's. Always year in, year out, one of my favourite uniforms, especially when they've got the blue one on. Flop warning is given. But Kobe Reed scores his first points, and it's 4 apiece here. Early in quarter number 1, boys, double A, pool A action. Turner, Kuruwhiwhi Toru off the tapa, and the tūrapa ends up in the hands of Kobe Reed, who is fouled, draws the hara, and another foul coming in.
Broughton Winnick with his first personal. Trying to get an extra position on the shot. A bit short from George Turner.
Kupalapo getting his first action off the bench.
young Kupulapo, only year 10. So, turned up to 3-on-3 nationals at the beginning of the year, and I was like, oh, he's playing for the juniors. So,
gosh, he can shoot, can't he?
Yeah.
I saw his brother Kainoa and his dad Mason just in the stands below us, taking in this battle.
Kobe Reed with another bucket.
That man is a pakete as well. Turner avoids the strip attempt.
Nice initial defense by Manaia Heki, but I think Carter Hamlin got a piece of George Turner's arm. So we go to the line for 2 shots.
I remember George Turner when he was under 15s playing for Counties Manukau, and was always the toughest assignment as a coach. Couldn't put a defender that was too small on them. He was too smart. He'd take them straight to the post, put a bigger defend on them, just play on the perimeter, go straight past them. And you can't just sit in a zone as well as that age group, so
the conundrum, right?
Takes a few options away as he misses the second Kuru Tautuku, and the Tūrapa goes to St. John's. Lovely little kick ahead there. St. Ken's just caught in the transition, and the Kuru Whakeu with the and one is good. As we have another look here on the action replay. And those are a coach's dream. Anytime you can get ahead, get an easy basket, especially in big games like this one.
Carter Hamlin looking to make it 3-point play with the Kuru Tautuku.
And converts.
St. Ken's in the bonus early in the quarter. Only 4 minutes of gameplay and they've committed 5 personal fouls.
And it looks like a foul is called there. So St. Ken's just getting away with one there. We saw some extended pressure off the 3-throw make from St. John's. Always a popular time, isn't it, Ryan, to just apply a little bit of pressure. You got more time to get set up.
Most often these days, they're just trying to waste time. Just give them a little less time in the half court to operate. And against some teams not as well equipped.
Lepo to the hoop off the Papamuri is good.
Get some turnovers as well.
It's always exciting, isn't it, when you can see fourth formers make the step up. I remember Merrick Ralston was only fourth form last year.
I think so, yeah.
And he was such an impressive performer. Was over with the under-16 boys in Doha.
He's taken his talents overseas to finish out his high school career and looking to progress.
Lepo, that's going to be called on the floor, so no free throws for the young man.
Baseline basketball for St. Ken's. All of a sudden, what do we got? 8 team fouls combined, 5 minutes.
Yeah, a little bit different to the last game where no quarter went into the bonus. Oh, actually, no, fourth quarter did. My apologies. George Turner up top off the on ball, finds Johnson in the corner. Shout out to his parents, Blair and Kelly, if you're listening at home. Tuning in as...
Nice contest there by St. John's, but give up the offensive rebound, only to get it back on the turnover.
Great work there from Jacob Neri as well on the steal after the offensive rebound. You need those glue guys, don't you, Ryan? That just, especially in high school basketball, can just really bring the whole team together.
One of those dudes always in the right spot, getting the extra possessions, some deflections, is George Turner. Draws the hutter and will go to the line for a couple of Kuru Tautukus. Nails the first.
Of course, a good little chance, thank you, Ryan, to talk about our Caltex Good Sport Award. Goes to someone here at the event who has done amazing things to help others, made a huge effort or inspired those around by going well over, above and beyond. If you've got someone you want to nominate, head to the Basketball New Zealand socials to enter, and that award will be presented at the AA Finals. Entries close Wednesday at midnight, and it's free, so kids, you don't have to ask the bill payer first if you want to nominate someone. As Kobe Reed again. Easy player to spot, Ryan, on the court.
St. Ken's first look at some extended pressure into his zone, and St. John's take advantage.
Lepo waiting for the on-ball, nice and patient. Spins in traffic, and travel is called.
Good call from the referee. Just drag that pivot foot a little bit as he squared back up to the basket. So we'll see here on the replay. just that extra on that left foot.
It's almost the momentum as well, right? He's kind of got to go straight up if he does that.
The spin moves are very difficult and risky because of that. You often, of the momentum, you need to shuffle that pivot foot.
Or just do what Kobe just did. Easily off the Papamuri for the Kuru Whakau. Ryan, Kobe, get it up. Saving the legs for later on in the tournament.
He teased us for the dunk.
Any involvement from you this week on any tournament teams or anything?
Yes, AA girls. Myself and Mel Bennett, who you just commentated with, taking care of the AA girls tournament team.
Bit of a brains trust right there.
Yeah, it helps when there's two of us with so many teams and so many games over the 6 days.
Any games that you've watched thus far that really caught your eye?
Hamilton girls were playing really well earlier against Waimea College. Stack struggled in the first quarter, as I alluded to earlier, but ended up with a convincing victory. So I think we're looking at Stack again in the top 4. Hamilton girls should go close. I've heard Tauranga are a team to watch.
Mal was very high on them.
And then we have last year's reigning champs of Westlake, who are some returnees, but a different looking squad to last year. So
they're an interesting one for me. I didn't think, I mean, they lost a lot of players last year, but the returnees, Amy Lee Pateman, of course, a key one.
Rebecca Moores, both who will be coming away to Papua New Guinea at the end of this week. So yeah, some talented teams out there. Those will be the 4 I'd be keeping my eyes on.
Oh, great find inside. Luke Franich with the left hand.
Nice press break.
And we almost saw a steal as the Celtics and Whakata Maori signs go flying. Shout out to Pooks for putting it all together, but...
Nice dime there by Jacob Neary. Oh, excuse me, Dylan Ho.
A little bit of extended man-to-man pressure here from St. John's.
Oh.
Unlucky. I'm always a fan of that, though, when it's not a zone pressure, it's straight man-to-man, and you can create things out of that.
Very close to getting the turnover, but instead the Hara is committed. And due to being in the bonus, St. Kitts will be rewarded with 2 free throws. So when you're in the bonus and you're playing aggressive defense, like St. John's are, it's very high risk, high reward, knowing that if you are out of control or get out of position, that the opponents will be at the free throw line.
Both teams in the bonus now on each side, and still with just under 2.5 to play. Plenty of time to rack those up, get some easy looks for St. John's, extend this lead for St. Kitts, get back into this 7-point deficit. And that's not going to help there.
Vince Lendon, nice lefty. Corner
Kurifefi Toru is good. I think that's my favourite call in Te Reo, for sure.
Kurifefi Toru. I commentated a game at under-17 nationals with Tanika Ledger-Walker, and that was certainly the one we used to
this year.
Yes. By all accounts, she got through the first game nice and healthy, which she was ecstatic about.
We'll see Tanika taking on Westlake tomorrow afternoon. And her older sister, Crystal, will be in the commentary booth. Saw her a little bit on hoop heads. And no doubt if Crystal, and she's still got a lot of playing basketball to go, but you got a feeling, Ryan, when she hangs up the boots, she's going to be up here a lot more often.
Gracing the sidelines of the Tauhi League and other national tournaments, you reckon?
Absolutely. Tauhi League for sure. Heke for 3, no good. Rebound, Kobe Reed. And away comes St. John's. Just over a minute and change. And that kick ahead pass is almost too good. Awesome to see those ones come together.
St. John's pressure just slowly creating a bigger and bigger lead ever slightly here.
Shout as well to Roshi, who you can see in the background on that baseline when St. John's bring the ball down with the camera in the left hand easy. Roshi Sports Portfolio on Instagram, giving us all our highlight reel photos and videos to complement this tournament.
St John's are doing a really good job of changing up their pressure. They've got single man coverage, they've got trapping just over halfway, and even a 2-2-1 a few possessions ago.
It's the great thing, isn't it, when those schools, they bring those groups through the program, those years where you can add those layers of complexities. Not always easy for first-time coaches to be able to add those things in, and especially at tournaments like this, you need sometimes those. You can't just rely on one offense and one defense to get you through. As timeout is taken on the floor. Interesting one with 36 seconds to go in the quarter, but hey, when you need it, you need it.
Yeah, St Kitts are at risk of going down over double digits here at the end of the first quarter, but as you say, 36 seconds to get through your first break, and then you've got to add 2 up your sleeve for the second quarter. This allows Puki Linden to perhaps draw up a junk defense or a walk up to get perhaps Vince Linden another shot at a three-pointer who just knocked down a Kura Whiwhi Toru. Conversely, St Kitts, we're looking to, all right, can we get a 2-for-1 and eat into this lead?
Just saw a little sign from a fan, Swaggy E, implying Elias Lepo there. Always a fan of the signs making their way into live sport. It's a beautiful thing. Don't forget, of course, to thank our sponsors, Moulton, Bailey's, New Zealand Carbon Farming, Caltex, Apollo Projects, and New Zealand Community Trust. Without them, this couldn't take place. And of course, Ryan, the volunteers here in the beautiful Manawa too.
Absolutely. Without those volunteers, tournaments like these would not go ahead. Large number of them on lots of different duties throughout the week, making it a seamless transition or seamless tournament for all the competing schools here.
And one of them who can't be here, now he's moved to New Caledonia with his family, Matt Schmidt.
Yes.
Coach Unicorn.
Coach Unicorn.
Always around.
I saw him posting about the New Zealand boys earlier this morning, so I'm sure he'll be checking out some of the live stream throughout the week. And how good is that? We've got two live streams going this week.
It's awesome. Obviously, as soon as they asked me if I wanted to come down, I said absolutely. But we just get more and more talent, not just on the court, but off the court, Ryan. And then when they said, hey, we've got a second court going, I think that's pretty cool. What I like as well about the other stream, this one, it's a bit isolated from the rest of the tournament. If you're at home and you've never been, you don't really understand from watching this what it's like here.
Absolutely.
That one really gets you into the heart of the action.
Yeah, this court here is the show court, but it is excluded from the rest of the arena.
Actually, what I might do while we're here, Ryan, the phone's charging, I'll chuck that stream on, so if you're watching this, I will try and keep you updated.
St Kitts long on the half-court shot as St John's take a 14-point lead here after the first quarter. A good display of defense creating offense by St John's.
Is there any adjustments on either side, Ryan, that you've already seen that you'd like either team to be able to make?
St Kitts have got to do a better job of taking care of the ball. They're dribbling into areas where it makes it easy for St John's to either trap or pick off passes. So a bit of fluidity of their press break will see them taking more shots and turning the ball over less. Outside of that, in the half court, they look reasonably similar in terms of their efficiency. So if they can control the open court turnovers, St Kitts will be able to eat into the 14-point deficit they face after the first quarter.
It's always a tough one, isn't it, on day one? You don't want to give away all the goodies that are in your basket as a coach, all your different adjustments and things like that that you might want to save for a big fourth quarter. I want to see, you know, one trap I want to see this week is a run and jump.
Run and jump.
I haven't seen that in a while, and I'd love to see it.
What St John's has shown us so far, they might have that in the playbook, so we shall see. And this is the first game for both these teams.
Well, it's a tough one, isn't it? You know, you haven't warmed into the tournament and you're already thrown onto the show court in game number one.
And
That's
now,
tough.
You always want to pick up that first win. You don't want to have to be playing catch-up or hoping other things go your way to get out of your pool or get into a bracket where you think is a good result for your team. But I guess that's what makes this tournament so special, but also so difficult at the same time, as the number of teams here and the longevity of the tournament going to 6 days.
So on court 5, it looks like Stratford High versus Aquinas College in the women's is just about to tip off. So Ryan, we might have had an overtime already on court number 5 that has pushed that out.
Yeah, Palmy boys were playing Nelson College. I left about 2:05, and it was 5 minutes to go. It was a close game, so certainly a potential for an overtime before the girls got to warm up.
We will keep an eye on that for you if you're staying with us on the live court. Here is Turner, almost a triple team there.
Perhaps a 1-3-1 zone there, and they're trying to pin the ball to one side.
My least favourite zone to coach against, without doubt, because you're not used to it. It's such I remember Paulie was always a big one with the breakers running it.
Yeah, it got weird rotations and people coming from angles you're just not used to, so finding spacing and offense against the 1-3-1 is one of the more challenging prospects as a coach.
If you're in the Palmerston North area, or the greater area, come on down. We've got some great daily and weekly pass options available for you, as well as Table Tennis Connect for some cornhole. Any of those, Ryan, that take your fancy?
Oh, I didn't mind a bit of cornhole when I lived in the States. It was a nice summer game to enjoy a beer to.
Non-alcoholic, of course, as Noah Hickey brings the ball up for St. Kitts in the blue. Turner gets more space than he would have thought.
Scoop shot.
And always so patient, but again, you've got to get back, and that point is counted out pretty quickly there from Carter Hamlin.
That's twice now St. Kitts have scored and given up a bucket straight away.
Turner into the trees. Hickey pulls it up, little off the Papamuri, and the tūrapa to Nanai Hickey, and away comes St. John's, looking to push the pace here. And Hickey there, strong there on the Kuruwhiwhi Toru.
George Turner brings the ball up for St. Kitts, looking to...
Oh my goodness.
Shoot an NBA range 3. Wasn't expecting to say that.
Deep there off the tupper, and then gets beat. And big block, Noah Hickey.
Put a fire out there. It was a 3-on-2 fast break and some athleticism by Noah Hickey. Stops a layup. Noah Hickey going to work with the ball screen. George Turner getting involved.
Again, you can just see all that St. John's activity, isn't it, around him, is the little Dirk Nowitzki spinning fade off the one leg. Good sign of body control.
Back to 8, so a decent start outside of the defensive transition by St. Kitts here early in the second quarter.
Well, that's what they've got to do, right? Just make sure, try and keep this game in the half court as much as possible defensively. As Hamlin there shows his ability in the mid-range.
As I said earlier when we were introducing these teams, they just got to find their rhythm. And a lot of anticipation from regionals, internationals, to travel down or up to Palmerston North. So first time getting on the court, finding that rhythm.
Good extend there on the pick and roll. Defense from Hamlin. And almost thought there was going to be a 3x3 no call there from referee Hamish Dale, but beautiful mechanics there on the charge call. So we'll get a replay of that. Producer Rich.
Some really good defense here by Carter Hamlin. George Turner looks very focused on using his right hand, and I think they're going to start tempting him to try and use his left to beat St. John's here.
Reminds me of Josh Davis's scout on all teams. Just force them to their left. So he's their scout in the book.
Yeah.
Kobe. And one. Draws the hara, finishes past the contact. And those are the killers, aren't they, Ryan, where you foul as they're in the action of picking the ball up. As we have another look at it here, just straight rip and go.
Yeah, it's a tough one. He gets beat, but he's athletic enough to elongate his steps and get the shot up and in. As Kobe Reed looks to convert a three-point play. with Koutu Tuku.
Just a little discussion here around the foul count. Both assistant coach and manager as books, just almost letting a Tohi and Sal's NBL player timeout take place.
Perhaps.
Interesting. Mal Bennett was a big fan of it. What are your thoughts on player timeouts?
I did like it. It takes some ownership away from the coaches into the players' hands, and they have to start thinking about the game more and more and more about when they're going to use it and what they're going to do and time and score and all those kind of things.
It's almost taking some of the best bits of 3x3, isn't it, and then implementing it into the longer form game.
Absolutely. It would be interesting to see how far they go with that rule, if they bring it into any kind of, I guess, lower age basketball or things like that.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, associations, you do have a little bit of ability to do that. I know at Harbour, when I was running their competitions, we changed some rules where running clock games, there was no foul limit in the half, so the game didn't stop for a minute for 3 throws on a foul at the other end of the court.
Nice, I like that. Did you ever think about putting the rule in when it goes out of bounds that the refs don't have to touch it?
We did do that, yeah, in some games. Secondary schools, especially the lower running clock leagues, that was a rule. The clock would only stop for fouls, timeouts, and subs. So anything else, it was basically like, look, just get into it. Now, look, you probably watch a lot more basketball than I do. I saw that they trialled it in the Spanish.
In the lower grades of the Spanish league.
Is that kept going? Is that picked anything up any steam?
Well, it was last season. They're about to start a new season in Europe. I'm not sure if they kept it or not, but it certainly changes the way basketball's played. So anytime the ball would go out of bounds, it's an instant fast break.
I know it's a bit of a dirty topic sometimes, but you look at what rugby league has done to make their sport as quick as possible. Barely any scrums anymore, and that everything's kind of just set resets, keep going. And basketball, you could almost say, is a very similar way that they could do that. It's great effort there from Cooper Lepo to throw it off his opponent. But we have another look here at this on the action replay. Strip, jump, throw.
Hustle plays. He is one of those players who are often in the right spots, as well as being super talented as a year 10. Playing a role here for St. Kitts.
Here is Johnson on the left-hand side. Little handoff there with Heke. Trying to flip this into an on-ball screen here with Groves. Finally gets the angle he likes. Pulls up for the mid-range. And that's short off the top. A good hustle again there from both sides, but out comes St. John's. Johnson there trying to take the charge. And got around him with ease, Manaya Heke, but got to see people put the bodies on the line, Ryan. Do you ever have any reward system for charges taken in your teams?
We did this year because we were so reluctant to take it that if we took a charge, I'd buy them something from the tuck shop. Which...
Was there a price range on that?
$5 max.
$5 max.
I don't get to pay that much as a teacher.
Oh, big Kurufifi Toru Cooper Lepo.
That is deep. Straight. Here comes St. John, straight back.
I bet as well, they probably didn't get as much bang for their buck with $5 in the school tuck shop as we probably did at school.
Definitely not. But we got to a point where we started willingly to take them, and we improved a lot throughout the season, which was good to see.
Now, was that at the Manawatu level or Palmerston North Junior A?
Junior A, yeah. So at school where we could, easy for me to give them the rewards if they deserve them.
Go see Mr. Double Dam at lunch. Excuse me, sir.
Meet you at the tuck shop.
Right, little post-up action here for St. John's. No split action off the ball, but Kurufifi Toru attempt in and out. And the two-rapper into the hands of Max Johnson.
Cooper Lepo here with the ball, provided a bit of spark in the last 90 odd seconds. Seeing if they can claw their way back into this game. Another three, and it's good. It's 2 in a row. Cooper Lepo, the Kurufifi Toru.
Well, his dad is watching along with his older brother, who is a bit of a pakite himself. And you talk about nature versus nurture, Ryan. Maybe he's genetically just a shooter. Good switch there from St. Kitts on the pick and roll. There's Kobe Reid to the hoop. And just tried to do a little bit too much on that one.
Third stop in a row by St. Kitts. Leads under 10.
Left hand, Heke short and safe. Tūrapa there for St. John's. Just under 4 to play here. Quarter number 2. Oh, Elias Lepo says, little brother, you can do it outside, I'll do it inside. His timeout is taken here from St. Kitts, and Ryan.
It is a tough finish. Floating to his right hand.
Have another good there, little hezzy.
But avoids.
His brother tried to take a chance there as
avoids
well.
the contact.
That's a rule I'd change, actually. I don't like airbound charges. Too much can go wrong. Especially outside the professional level.
Absolutely, yep.
But as Catherine would remind me, keep it positive. Ryan, what adjustments can St. Kitts do to get it back to single digits and then chip into that lead as well?
Cooper Lepo's brought the energy in the last 2.5 minutes, which is good to see. Their D-Trans, if they can get back and set up their defence and get St. John's back into half court and probably keep them outside of the paint, then they'll give them some options.
What about on the other side? Do you think Pooks is just thinking, hey, look, those are 2 deep shots, we'll live with it? Or is there a tactical adjustment that he might look to change?
Particularly for the first one, I'd be like, oh, if he hits 2 more from that far out, then we might have to guard him. The second one, you know that Cooper can shoot it. So I'm sure Pooks wouldn't have liked the second one. The first one, you're probably going to live with. As we look to get the game restarted here, St. Kitts basketball.
And a little bit of extended man-to-man pressure here from St. John's through Dylan Howe. Little off-ball screen there for Cooper. I like that. Little 3x3 action there up the top. Oh, Cooper Lepo.
8 straight points for Cooper.
You like to see that. You like to see as well the evolution from the 3x3 and one is called.
Ooh.
Johnson couldn't quite slide his feet to stay in front.
It's that rejection of the ball screen here. Got no help, out of position, and a nice finish.
Just got to try sometimes if you are sending the play over the screen.
Muggle.
Got to make sure you lock off that low side. But hey, it's a learning, isn't it? At the end of the day.
The Kura to Tuku is good.
Magoff there converts. And suddenly 12-point lead for St. John's. And carry is called on George Turner.
See, just that extended pressure, you're kind of in that passing lane, you're kind of not. George Turner looks to pass it, and all of a sudden he decides to not to, and the refs pick him up for a bit of a carry. Front court turnovers to 14 seconds here for St. John's.
And then you talked before about using presses to just try and slow the game down, but you get that turnover, and it's an absolute bonus. Here's Kobe. And one again. Have they had 3 throws where it hasn't been an and one yet? They probably have.
It's at least their 4th in this half. Kobe's tough, man. He's got some nice post moves. He looks athletic. As he's going to the line for his chance at a 3-point play. Looking to make the Kuru to Toku.
You reckon his parents knew when they named him Kobe? This kid's going to be a baller? Had to be.
Yeah, they might have had the inkling that he would grow up as a talented young hooper.
Here he is again. Took the contact. And again, that verticality Mel Bennett was talking about in the last game comes to show. And here's George Turner. Fakes the handoff. But again, 3 white singlets.
Tough shot there.
When you've got such a key ball handler like that, Ryan, who gets those triple teams as soon as they get inside the 3-point line, what are some easier ways to try and create some space for them?
If you're cutting off the basketball when they're sending 2 or 3 to the same player, and then you just got to encourage George or whoever is drawing the attention to be a willing passer and get your teammates open. The more your teammates can get involved, the more space he's going to have to operate.
And it keeps them happier defensively as well, right?
Absolutely.
Turn a little floater.
You can see that time he looked at the cutter and he thought, I've got enough an advantage to a nice kiss off the glass, high off the glass, the GJ Gardner-Holmes backboard.
Well, it felt as well on that one that he made his decision a little bit quicker. This is what I'm going to do as Kobe to the hoop. And they just haven't found an answer yet of which defender to put on them yet, have they?
Kobe Reed, it's tough. He's getting to the rim at will.
Turner off the Groves. Pick and roll. Oh, my goodness. The whirling dervish. And good defense there from St. Kitts to slow that one down, get it into a half-court set. A little handoff here for Kobe. That's a lot of space for him. Little shimmy, shimmy, ya. Falling over, let it go. And out comes Lepo again. 2-on-2. Ball fake and one.
Cooper
Lepo.
The nice pass fake. Double clutch. Wrong hand off the glass. And St. Kitts get a chance at the three-point play as Cooper Lepo lines up for the Kuru Totoku.
Reminded me a little bit of, you know, when you get the old KFC family bucket? Here you go. No, this is mine.
It's a hell of an analogy right there.
Oh, man, we've got a week to come up with these.
Well, back to 11 for St. Kitts. It's been fluctuating between 14 and 9. Let's see if they can finish the half out strong. Unforced turnover, forced by St. Kitts. Coming off the foot of Elias Lepo.
Of course, on the other court, it is Aquinas 21, Stratford 14. Just over a minute to play there in quarter number 1. Are you doing any commentary over on the other court, Ryan?
I believe I have a game with Maya Williamson later in the week.
Oh, the Queen.
Perhaps Thursday from memory, but I'd have to double check.
Maya's good. Only in her first year of university. And I tell you what, Ryan, when I was her age, I don't think I even spoke, let alone had the ability to commentate. So
I have heard her before on live stream, and she is particularly good.
Kurufifi Toto attempt is short off the tupper. And wondered here, will they go for a 2-for-1? Well, it's hard because the only clock you can see is the one that's up above the middle of the court. There's no end-on clock. As Cooper Lepo showing his 2K build, has a bit of muscle to it as well.
He is having a first half for a year 10. He has really kept St. Kitts in this game.
And it's going to be the last shot of the half here for St. Kitts. Heke is going to come out of a pick and roll. And I tell you what, if they're going to run it from this left side, I wouldn't mind seeing Lepo in the opposite corner. And a foul is called. That is going to be foul number 4.
Smart foul. Not in the bonus. Stops the clock. 3.5 seconds for St. Kitts to come up with some magic. I'll be looking at Lepo perhaps to even run perhaps a decoy if they have anything here. 9-point lead here for St. John's.
Can they make it a 2-position? Lepo has to put it up and is blocked. So halftime here in the boys AA Pool A action. St. John's of Hamilton 43, St. Kentigern College 34. From myself, Andrew Horrocks, and Ryan Doubledam. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with the second half.
I just want to thank New Zealand Carbon Farming for taking the initiative and supporting schools like ours.
It's really important they have that outlet to come to Kura for another reason other than curriculum, and for some reason in our water our kids just breathe sport, and having that resource here makes life that much more enjoyable and they can keep doing what they're good at.
Having this funding, being able to use it specifically targeting sport is hugely beneficial.
This isn't an ad about four-wheel drives. It's about knowing the place, as well as the locals.
We found the place. That's a good start. Built by my great-grandfather 20 years ago.
We had to make sure from the beginning, yep, this is what we're going to do and we're going to go all in.
And was us.
So I was so determined to have this pepe.
Puro pepe, ki whakaata Māori me Māori Plus.
Funding is a real challenge. We know that a lot of schools face that ongoing, and the reality is if you go to a lower decile school in New Zealand, you are less likely to be able to afford to participate in sport.
Obviously, having come through it myself with kids and being one of those kids myself who played sport, I know how much it defined who I was. And now being able to go, I can't fix it all, but we can help and try and give to those people who are going through tough times. It's a real privilege, but you know, for us, we want to see others get involved in this. This is not a selfish thing for Apollo. This is about how can we get, whether it's construction or other businesses, to get involved in this.
There's a lot of things that kids miss out on, and so to have businesses step up and want to be involved and to help is a game changer for schools. It really is.
Sport is about more than just the game. It's about going from teammates to best mates. It's the high fives and helping hands. It's learning when to back yourself or back your buddies. It's actually being excited to get out of bed early on a Saturday. Sport is about more than just the game. That's why Caltex is proud to help fuel school sports.
The bait is over.
What I can almost guarantee is there's going to be some good fish here today.
Tuna in every 2 days.
I was pretty excited actually. Went from 0 to 100 real quick.
For a real good time.
All guns blazing.
Oh.
Yeah, my technique, it was mean. Not.
Get in the water, Wild 2 day, ki whakaata Māori.
Another day in paradise.
Welcome back here to Fly Palmy Arena on day one of the 2023 Secondary School Nationals, as we just see the giant Jenga in the background take a fall. St John's of Hamilton up 43-34 over St Kentigern College. For myself, Andrew Horrocks, alongside Ryan Doubledam, producer Rich, and camerawoman Jess, who's bringing us these great shots at the moment of the St Kent's bench. Ryan Doubledam, just over a minute to go until we get back into it. What has been the standout for you in the first half?
Off air, we're singing the praises of both Koutu from St Kent's and Kobe Reid from St John's. Kobe doing a great job getting to the hoop from the perimeter, and Koutu for St Kent's keeping them in this game. It's been a bit of a backward and forward game with some of St John's extended pressure paying some dividends. And then when they're not been pressuring, allowing St Kent's to get a rhythm. The lead, fluctuated 14 or 15 to 9. So it sets up for an entertaining second half.
It's an interesting one because the momentum felt very St John-sided in that first half. So for St Kent's to keep this still a single-digit game, I think actually gives them a bit of strength. Thinking, you know, we probably haven't had the best half of basketball, and they're still well within this, so an opportunity to move forward.
Yeah, absolutely. 9 points these days in a basketball game is not a lot. A couple of deep threes by Koutu or a Noah Hiki and one, it's evaporated. But on the other end, perhaps one thing St Kitts talked about was if we're going to foul, let's try and not give them and ones, because they gave up their fair share in that first half.
I don't know the record is for most and ones in a game, but that first half certainly felt like we were well on the way. So it's going to be St John's in their white kit to get us underway in half number 2, going from right to left. St Kent's in the blue, going left to right. And it's going to be Elias Lepo with the first touch of the Molten. The official ball of this tournament. What are your thoughts on the new ones, Ryan, that they brought out? Was it last year or a couple of years ago?
I like them. I like them. They actually expire at the end of this year, so it'll be interesting to see what FIBA come out with in regards to the next cycle of balls and how much change they have.
Lepo, great kick into the corner for the Kuruwhiwhi. Toru short off the tapa. And the tūrapa into the hands of St John's, looking to really get out in this first possession of the half, or second possession. Little decision-maker spot, and the cut was good.
A beautiful pass by Noah Hiki.
It's interesting now, isn't it, that little short corner being utilised as a playmaking spot for teams really changes the angle of the defence, doesn't it?
It does. It is a opens up to a number of different actions.
Hamlin is fouled and will go to the line.
George Turner with the header.
So we have another look at it there, and oh, that was...
Bit of contact there. He got the basketball. I don't think there was anything malicious in it. Just
no.
From behind is the Koutu tuku is converted by Carter Hamlin. We'll get a second here shortly.
First blood in quarter number 3. Goes away of Carter Hamlin, and he will step up for the second, and again just uses every bit of the tapa and converts. Bit of false pressure there from St. John's. His Turner gets caught, 4 defenders around him, and out comes St. John's. Lepo, great find to Hamlin.
Yeah, nice unselfish play there. In uncontested layup to strong hand.
Always got to keep the big men happy, don't you? Especially on day number 1.
Running the floor like that.
Especially if you know team meals and they get first option, you want to make sure some's left for you. Lepo is fouled, and that's going to be sideline inbound. Shot clock reset to 14.
The header is committed by Elias.
Brother on brother. I'm sure backyard battles got a bit more physical than that.
2 sets of brothers, or maybe even cousins, with the Hickeys and the Lupos.
Unsure about the Hickeys. Lepos definitely. One to research, Ryan. This is why we love this tournament. We go around, we have the corridors with the multiple people involved, and we find out these facts for the future.
Unlucky there by St. Ken's, a little bit of an off-target pass, and Cooper Lepo unable to handle it. As St. John's look to extend their lead, it's back out to 14. Bit of a zone, 2-3 zone here by St. Ken's. St. John's doing a good job moving the basketball.
Step back, Kurufifi Toru is along off the tapa. Rebound at George Turner, and this for me is where I'd like to see Turner be a bit more aggressive. And that's going to come off his knee. But just try and really attack that first defensive look that he sees.
Early in the second half, he hasn't had much luck driving into traffic. So it's going to have to be a quick decision about, have I got a big enough advantage, or do we need to run through some offense?
See, this is why, Ryan, we like people we know listening. Kelly Johnson, thank you for confirming it. The Hickeys are brothers. So 2 sets of brothers fighting for rights in this game. And 2 of them are going to be happy, 2 of them aren't.
I was only assuming beforehand, but now we know it for a fact.
It's always nice to know that's confirmed, isn't it?
Long on the Kurufifi Toru by Elias Lepo.
And so here comes Turner again off that on ball. Likes his preferred middle, finds the corner, little triangle. Look here, and a bit of a late on ball. Turner, turn around. And
casual
Kobe.
Rebound by Kobe.
Oh my goodness, Lepo with a bit of speed. Hamlin off the Papa Moody. And the Kurufaka'u is easy for him.
The nice position by St. John, start to finish. One-handed rebound into a nice dish. As St. John's keep the pressure on. Another turnover and another bucket in transition by Elias Lepo. Little floater, and forces St. Kitts to call a timeout. As we see the replay here. Silky touch.
What a floater too. A bit of a lost art sometimes in basketball, but
especially when you're going at full speed, it's a tough shot.
What is your main discussion point here for head coach Te Ratana?
The lead kind of blew out in the last 90-odd seconds. They're just playing a bit fast, a bit unstructured, kind of not always on the same page. So if they can slow it down to a point where they're getting structured basketball but taking advantage when it opens up, all on the same page, it'll stop these kind of unforced turnovers, which are St John's are doing a great job of converting on. Let's be fair, they're doing a hell of a job of pushing the basketball when the opportunities arise, and they're taking quality looks and converting at a very high rate.
What I really like about St John's is the off-ball cutters on those fast break attempts as well. It's not just a 1-on-3, it's everyone getting involved, drawing those defenders and finding the open look.
Absolutely, they're running really good lanes, finding the open man, and they're being rewarded with really uncontested shots, which have helped build the 17-point lead.
So it's going to be St Ken's to get us back underway here on the show court, and all it tells me, Ryan, is that if there's no one watching here, there is a lot of people watching a couple of games that are going on the other courts.
Was a fair few to pick from. If all courts are in use, there's 9 other games going on.
It's so good. I say to people time and time again, if you haven't been to secondary school championships, you're so lucky. You're a local boy.
Yeah, it's good. I do like having it in the backyard, regardless of my involvement year to year. It's makes it easy when you can just drive across town and get here.
And it's a special place to have it as well. I mean, if it was in Auckland, I feel like you'd kind of just get lost, whereas you come into Palmy, can't find anywhere to park, can't find anywhere to stay. Every cafe you go to, people are wearing school colours. It's, I love it.
It's good for the city as well to have these tournaments. I believe we have volleyball nationals at the beginning of the year as well, which another big tournament for the city.
Well, you've got the 9 courts as well to do it, as travel is called. Not everyone's blessed to have a facility like this.
And I believe there is discussions in the future to build some more, but I'm sure that will be
love that.
a wee while away yet before all that happens.
There's discussions everywhere, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I saw you liked my tweet regarding North Harbour Stadium, turning that into 25 courts.
That'd be nice. I did go up to new courts at Hawke's Bay.
What are those like?
Nice.
How
I like
many?
them. 6. Plus you got the 3 in Pettigrew, the original 3 in Pettigrew Green.
We love it. I mean, it's hard sometimes as well, indoor sport, for the general public to see it because it's closed within the doors. You know, you look at your outdoor sports that dominated the funding before. They were easy to see, they were visible, but the more voices we get.
Yeah, I really like those courts, playing on those courts up in Hawke's Bay.
Playing on those courts,
well,
hello.
I didn't play, my teams played. you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Turner with the big tūrapa and gets stripped, but it stays St Kent's ball. Johnson in the corner finds Turner. Almost the most open he's going to be, and Johnson with the kuruwhiwhi. Toru in and out. That looked good.
Very unlucky, is in and out about 3 or 4 times, spinning so fast.
That was in. That 100% was in.
They do retain possession though here, St Kent's.
The shining light.
St John's set up in there.
Quick score update on court 5. Aquinas 33, Stratford 20. Here is Turner.
Gets action.
Go. And draws the foul. Called by both referees as well, so you know you're on the right path.
I like that from George. He played off 2 feet. He showed them the ball, got them off their feet, and made a good in-control play. As St Kent's have trimmed it to 13, potentially down to 11 if he makes both Kura to tokus.
Converts the first with ease.
So again, St Kent's just giving themselves a chance. Let's see if they can push through and really perhaps get under the 5 or 6 point mark.
A little discussion going on with Puki Lendon at the moment.
Perhaps.
Is it blood?
Potentially.
Just a discussion. But of course, Ryan, you know, we've got 6 days, the marathon to get through. Mel Bennett put me on the spot and asked who my favourites were across the board. Who are you looking at that we might see Thursday night and then Saturday evening?
If I had to pick the 2 winners,
yep,
I would pick Rotorua boys.
Oh, I've heard good things.
St Andrews girls.
Okay.
My top 4 for the girls, I'm not sure if they ended up on the same side of their pool, but my top 4 would be St Andrews, Westlake, Tauranga and Hamilton girls.
I think they'll be on different because Westlake girls will be top seed. St Andrews, I believe, are top seed of Pool B. So if all things go right for them, they will end up in the final.
And I think the boys is a lot harder to pick. So Rotorua, obviously.
The boys is a minefield.
It is.
I'm glad a few years ago when they put in that second versus third in the pool, it helped a lot. Because there are a lot of teams that should have gone, well, had the opportunity and the talent to go deeper, but just ended up on the wrong side of the draw.
Yeah, I'd be taking, honestly, I'd be taking a stab at the dark for the other 3. Maybe St. Pat's Silverstream.
They were top seed Zone 3?
Yes. Yes, perhaps Wellington College when Troy Plumtree comes back.
Waimea is going to be interesting.
Waimea with Hayden.
Rosmini, Matt Lacey just finds a way every year.
Yeah. Auckland Grammar. Like, there's a lot of teams that could if, you know, things fall their way.
I'm waiting for Auckland to take that step. They were very proud. Still are very proud. But I feel they haven't got the results they've deserved or have been capable of in this tournament thus far.
Well, they took
recent years.
Took care of business in their first game today. They beat Mount Maunganui this morning comfortably. Rosmini held on against Fielding without Lockie Crate. Got up 20 early. Fielding fought all the way back, got it down to a 7 before Rosmini comfortably winning that game in the high teens.
The professional outfit themselves. Right, just about to get back underway here with George Turner's 2 Kuru Tautukus. Sorry, it was the second of the lot, which he left short. And away come St. John's. Here is Kobe. What a pass.
So then, in their discussions before, they must have taken some points off St. Kitts, because the lead's back out to 14. So perhaps...
Are you accusing of point shaving, Ryan?
An errant push off the scoreboard as St. John's hit the Kuru Fifi Toru to push it right back out to 17.
No, this is going to be interesting. Is it going to be a front court or back court inbound? It's going to be front court, which means all inbounds must go. Now, why is the shot clock reset to 14? Yeah, running it down.
Yeah, it should only reset if change of position, right?
Correct. Live ball, it's 24. If it's a reset, it's a 14. Little handoff here for Johnson, and they're just trying to find that little high post action, aren't they? And get runners off that. Turner coming back to his favoured right hand.
At school, we call it the blind pig, when they flash into that high post after the top reversal's denied. Don't ask me why.
I love it.
Play through the blind pig.
I remember when I coached under 13s, I had Jameer Reed. And he used to, I need a name for this play. And they're like, potato. So it just became, if we're running potato, it's the flash into the high post.
I like it. It's good to have little weird names that helps the kids easy for them to remember. Good to see Jameer playing well over in the Middle East as well.
Yeah, another one who's going to come back for Rosmini. It's almost going to be 2 tournaments, isn't it?
First 2 days without the under-16 boys, followed by the last 4 with the silver medalists returning.
Here is Lepo. Rejects the screen, finds Turner. Thought he was going to give it straight back to Lepo there, but just lost the handle, and away come St. John's. Oh, lovely up fake form, and the foul is called. Lepo just hip checking him a little bit.
Committing the huddle. It was beautiful up fake form by
Manai Heke. Did we have another look at here on the action replay?
That's the key, right? Those pump fakes have got to look like your normal shot and everything, but his extension of his legs was his normal shot.
And the Kurufifi Toru is good. Samuel Magoff, easy as you like, and suddenly it's 57-37. St John's of Hamilton over St Kentigern College.
St Ken's really struggling to find some rhythm offensively since that intermission in play where they sorted out the score.
Well, I don't think it's just been St Ken's, it's been the St John's defence.
Oh.
Made a few adjustments on what they were doing, and it's paying dividends thus far.
They have done a really good job applying that pressure and making them catch in spaces where it just a little bit further from the hoop, making it really tough. Basically not letting St Ken's get comfortable. They've never been comfortable offensively, perhaps outside of when Kupa Lepo hit about 8 straight in the second quarter.
Speaking of Lepo, here he is at the free throw line. And that one's off the tupper, and the two-upper is fought for before St John's come away with it. Here is Kobe up the top. Happy to move the ball around here. We're seeing a 2-3 look as well from St Ken's. Koutu Toru attempt is short. And the rebound into hands of Jacob Neri. And here comes Turner. Defender behind him. Do you ever have keywords for when you've got a player chasing you?
Wolf. Generally it's wolf.
It's wolf?
Yeah. I haven't heard many different for that one, actually.
It's always a funny one, though, when kids don't know what it means. And you can be like, wolf. And they're like, what? Oh, ball's gone. What were you on about?
The ones I find funniest are, sir, why do you call it a blob or a slob? I was like, well, actually, it's an acronym.
Oh, my goodness, Lepo.
That was nice. It's hard to believe that Cooper is a year 10 doing this against people 2 or 3 years older than him.
I mean, I don't know, is he a young year 10 as well? Because then they could even be even older. Here is Turner, and was that a play at the basketball, Ryan?
Didn't look like it. We clearly didn't want to be on the court, so he was happy to give up.
So having a look here at the Lepo step through.
He must be in a bit of pain because he's committed a foul at halfway. It's given up 2 free throws, so he really didn't want to be on the court for any longer. And he's looking at... He's got the Roishman, so he mustn't be feeling too well, unfortunately. Lepo's long on the second quarter tuku.
Here is Dylan Howe. Good talk here from St Kentigern's College.
Yeah, much more active in the last few possessions in their zone, which is good to see.
Howe for the Koutu Toru is good. And again, St Ken's do fantastic work for 17, 18 seconds of the shot clock. But it's those last 6, isn't it, Ryan, that really pay dividends in the match.
Yeah, you have to identify the shooters, particularly later in the shot clock in those zones, and really get a good contest, otherwise you're going to be at the mercy of hoping they miss.
Here is how Kobe into the little playmaker spot.
St John's doing a great job moving the ball here as I curse them into a turnover.
Johnson to the hoop and finishes. And call there from the baseline referee who had the angle on it. And we'll shoot Kuru Tautuku for his struggles. Here we go. Nice little finish. A little wave of the hand. Come on, foul please, referee. Converts. And
a big moment in the game here. 16-point game, minute 23 to go. Can St Ken's get it to 10, perhaps 12? Really give themselves a chance for a last run of it here in the fourth quarter.
Here is St John's willing to take their time on this position. And I don't know who's got the candy cane hoops on their jumpers in the background.
They are quite distracting. That's Ivy Brown. So it's a South Island school.
And a foul is called. It's going to stay St Ken's ball. And because it's a loose ball foul, that will be 2 shots for Kupa Lepo.
Here you go. 2 for 1. Down 14 if Kupa Lepo can knock down both Koutu tukus.
Could be a potential 5 for 4 situation here. Converts the first. 60-45. And of course, points differential always such a key thing as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Particularly now with the playing games to the quarterfinals. If you've got two teams tied for third place and you need those points, got to keep playing to the buzzer.
Does always make me laugh though, the people who think it's points scored and points against. That's the differentiator. How for 3? Yes.
Big 3.
And now St Kitts with the time difference are going to take a full possession here. Or not. Heke to the hoop. Blocked. And probably too late here for St John's. This will be their final possession.
Charlie Hughes trying to get the hustle play dive in the floor, but
ends up in the hands of Samuel Magoff with an easy layup and a 65-45. Great trap. 10 seconds to play. Going through Lepo for 3. Oof. Oh my, what?
What are we witnessing?
Greatness. Half-court heave, no good off the GJ Gardner, so 3-quarter time. 65-48, St John's of Hamilton. We haven't had a look at that.
He's well on. Yeah, it's the second deep 3's hit this game. He's having himself a ball game here, Cooper Lepo. However, they do find themselves down 17 points as we head into the final intermission. I'm sure Pookie Linden will be telling the St John boys, just keep doing what you're doing and moving the ball against their zone, taking the open shots, a few turnovers here and there, and they'll be right.
What do you think the game plan is here for Pookie? I mean, obviously, as a point is added back onto St Kitts, so it's 65-49, but it's a lead where it's not safe at this point of the game.
No, I think you still be aggressive. You still have to play the way you got there. I don't think you should ever be changing your style of play just because you've hit a certain time of the game. If you've been aggressive in transition or game, just keep being aggressive. If you've slowed it down and played half court all game, keep doing that.
And then what about the players? You look at the key ones such as Kobe Reed. How much does he play in this fourth quarter if it stays a similar stretch?
5 minutes, 5 or 6 minutes. Try and get to a point where you've got a comfortable lead with little time left, but enough time to take some meaningful minutes off his legs. Conversely, St Kitts are going to have to either play some stellar defense or speed up the game a little bit to try and get some extra positions and see if they can really make a run for it.
So just about to get underway here in quarter number 4. Live stream game number 2. Of course, we will have a break at 4 o'clock and be back at 5:45. And then the big one that I'm looking forward to tonight, get to see our first look at Rosmini College on the live stream. And then I think the biggest one tomorrow, Ryan, St Peter's of Cambridge versus Westlake Girls High School.
Should be a barn burner and will probably be likely be for top of their pool, all things being equal.
St Peter's having such a proud history in this tournament of recent times.
Even our 5:45 game, Takapuna Grammar versus Hamilton Girls.
Bailey Flavel.
Bailey Flavel versus Elise Gilbert and Lani Albert, who are in the Junior Dolphins team. Bailey Flavel been in the under-16 New Zealand girls team as well.
Was on the bench as well for the Northern Kahu this year.
You're good to see some of the high school girls getting a chance within these professional environments. I was talking to Ratoria Tamilu, who really enjoyed her time with the Kahu as well.
Yeah, Mel was saying just the development aspect of the Rapid League she loved. Interested to see what they change in 2024.
I believe I heard somewhere that they're thinking about implementing it for the men's as well.
That was the talk. I actually remember Justin Nelson, when he commentated this tournament in 2019, he was talking about it then. So it's not some flash in the pan idea. It's something that's been thought out for a while, and now it's just tweaking the rules.
And it would be great it would allow for more people who are on the fringes of these teams to get some sort of development through our winter months, outside of their region, I guess their age group tournaments, the under 19s and under 23s.
For sure. Oh, especially, you know, you look at the Wahine playing in the D League, and it's how can we get them more and more opportunities to flourish and get meaningful competition.
Absolutely. And the more we can play in meaningful competitive environments, the better our basketball going to get.
Because I think that's the next big thing, isn't it, right? You've got, there's been such a big push on, you know, getting kids into the sport, primary, intermediate, secondary school, that's flourishing. The system's almost there in a way. I mean, you can always tweak it to make it better, but it's how can we then take those kids who are 18, 19, have left school financially, potentially is an issue.
Absolutely, yeah.
Unless you're doing a lot of fundraising, but a lot of the times that burden is laid on the parents' hands, but how can we find meaningful ways to keep them involved that aren't financially crippling for people who aren't in their strongest financial place?
And it's about getting opportunities for those boys that don't either make it to college in the States or choose not to. What can we do to help them get better before they are real mature basketball players and making NBL squads or NBL 1 squads or pushing for Australian League honours?
It's interesting, yeah, seeing a lot of people now go the NBL 1 route. I'd love to see a few more people explore what's available in Europe through their club system, because it runs deep. It's like football, right? You know, there's 4 or 5 professional leagues in Spain, so...
Absolutely. An old boy of Palmerston North Boys High School, Dane Burdenshaw, went over to an EYBL college prep team in Italy, and he said he really enjoyed the experience.
Was that the one that I think a few other Kiwis went over there as well, didn't they?
Yeah. And he really enjoyed it, and he's looking to use that to springboard into perhaps a NBL squad or some sort of scholarship in the States.
I know what you're right. I know you've spent a lot more time in the States than I have, but personally, if I could live in Europe and play basketball, that would be my number one.
I prefer the European style. Watching the FIBA World Cup last month, I just really enjoy that style of basketball over the NBA.
It's interesting as well, the American fans as well that agreed with you. And we're starting to see as Lepo and one. They're just starting to implement more and more FIBA rules, aren't they? First the 14-second shot clock. As we have another look here on the action replay. Goodness gracious.
It's a tough
He's going to have a highlight tape after this one.
The low pickup, the step through, kiss off the glass. It's been a phenomenal performance here by Cooper Lepo.
Now I put Mel Bennett on. Well, I asked her this question, and I'm going to ask you the same question, Ryan. If you were FIBA commissioner for a day, what one rule in basketball are you changing?
Shoot, it's a tough question.
How Kurufifi Toru is good.
Might have to have a think between games and come back to you at the
cop out
5:45.
Fair enough. We'll keep people tuning back in. They want to know what Ryan would change. It's Cooper Lepo in the left wing. And I'd like to see Groves there, just even if he's not trying to be an option, have a hand up and present yourself. Because I know he's been doing a lot of work on it. And we're going to see a timeout here taken by St. Kentigern of Auckland, 77-52 St. John's.
25-point lead. The game's slowly getting out of hand for St. Kent's. On the other hand, Puki Linden will be happy with the lead increasing, meaning he'll be able to take some of his key players out earlier than, sooner rather than later. Keep those minutes off the legs.
Oh my God, that extended rest is huge. As we have another look at the Puki Linden huddle.
Brent Matahare's Otago Nuggets jersey in the background. We've seen a few NBL coaches looking around, seeing what kind of talent there is, seeing if they could invite anyone to some trials or some development spots.
I think it's awesome. I mean, you look at a couple of years ago, there wasn't really that. I mean, Jack Andrew was the one who stands out to me, who 2019 Single A boys had a really good tournament. Got picked up with the Nuggets in the draft in 2020 and has taken off after that. Now with an ANBL development contractors. What do you reckon, Brent? Who do you reckon he's texting and talking about?
I know he's helping out the under-16 boys with some film work.
Yep.
But, yeah, who knows? Who knows? Perhaps he's found a gem in one of these teams out on the backcourts that he's letting someone know.
Johnson gets it up and gets it good as the shot clock expires. Great first clock awareness and then finish there from Max Johnson as, goodness gracious, Elias Lepo.
That was a nice move there by Elias. Little in and out. Gets a nice little reverse finish as Cooper Lepo brings the ball back up for St. Kitts.
Twist that screen from Grove, somehow finds some space, and Turner Kuruwhiwhi Toru is short. But even with that shot outcome, Ryan, you still like the decision making and the willingness to move the ball around the team.
It was a quick decision. He was, for the most part, open. If you take an open shots, you're happy as a coach.
Mag off there with a nice drive. Here is Cooper Lepo, slightly out of control, not for him though. Off the Papa Moody with the easy Kuruwhaka'u.
I know we won't have live stats until later in the tournament, but his stat line would be pretty interesting viewing as St. John's came right back with a layup of their own.
How good was that little drive though from Elias Lepo before the dish off? Cooper trying to one-up his brother there. And not to be. St. John's, a lot of need here for St. Kitts as well to keep hustling through this game. As we talked before about points differentials. Even if these two teams don't end up in a tie, still want to keep it close. Here is Turner, triple teamed, finds Frankie Groves, who goes up and finds another teammate in 3 seconds is called.
Tough catch here by Frankie Groves, and the dish is.
I like the dish. Good awareness there to see that it is pushed.
Looks like Puki Linden has got his starters out and gives some valuable experience to some of the younger players on the St. John's squad. Bobby Neal's on. Hunter Saville. Dominic Pearce.
And an up and in there from Bobby Neal's.
Supportive crowd down below us, St. John's boys.
Here is Lepo. Actually, an interesting action there. And on ball with George Turner. 2 ball handlers.
George Turner's not a small ball handler. He's
absolutely not.
Certainly a bigger human being than Cooper Lepo at the moment.
Here is St. John's through Kyan Daniels. Little handoff action. And Lepo went under that screen.
Hunter Saville with the Kuruwhiwhi Toru. As this lead is blowing out here.
Shooters the whole way through. 1-12. Groves comes into an on-ball screen. Lepo getting whacked many times there. And Groves there just hit on the arm as he passed it, and a foul was called. Unsportsmanlike given by Lepo. Maybe a chance just to give the subs a run. And so that's going to be shots and possession for St. John's.
Bobby Neal's at the line for the Kuruto Tokus.
Now, Ryan, after this one, we've got a bit of a break. It's basically lunchtime. Missed lunch with the first game. Spots you'd recommend around here?
Well, if you take your little lanyard over to Cafe Cuba, you see a bit of a discount on the back.
20% off all coffee.
But George Street, which is where Cafe Cuba is. There's a number of good cafes down there that you can't go amiss.
I do like the food scene in Palmy.
We do have a fair share of cafes and restaurants. Good luck getting a park on Broadway Avenue at about 6 o'clock, and as everyone enjoys their flavour of choice.
My favourite one is always the McDonald's queue at 10 o'clock at night after the final game.
I'm not sure the game has much to do with it. It's always packed at 10 o'clock at night. Particularly on a Friday or a Saturday night.
Right, little stack option here for St. John's. Trying to clear up some space for Max Skinner. Oh, what a find. To the corner, off the tapa, rebound Johnson.
Bobby Neal's a bit strong on the Koutu Whiwhi Toru.
Good ball movement here from St. Oh, little find there. And again, good defense as Ari Taylor couldn't quite find a lane to get that layoff in.
Nice pass.
Hits the tapa twice.
St. John's have had good defense for the majority of this game and really helped them be in such a commanding position. As Dominic Pearce draws the hara, and we'll go to the line for 2 kuru totokus. As St. John's are up 91-56 with 2 minutes and 37 seconds to go. The first kuru totoku is long for Dominic Pearce.
Leaves the second one short. Bit of an over adjustment on that one. But it worked out as they come up with the offensive rebound. Nice little drive and goes here from St. John's. Dominic Pearce spins to the corner, deep 2, and it didn't hit the rim, only the backboard. So shot clock violation.
First one of the game, I believe.
Yeah, a little moral victory there for St. Kitts. Right, here we go. Johnson on the left wing brings it centrally. Our first real look at Charlie Hughes with the ball. Johnson goes through the on ball. Great kick on to Hughes. And away come St. John's. Just under 2 minutes to play here in quarter number 4. Big block.
Nice
Jacob
recovery.
Neary. As we have another look at it here on the action replay.
It's a nice little pass from Bobby Neals, but Jacob Neary right there to swat the shot out of bounds.
Wheeling, such a beautiful art in basketball, isn't it?
Absolutely. And you need it to be able to create the space on the drives.
Aaron Taylor had let the ball go, so he knew very wisely he couldn't be the next one to touch it. We'll take possession of the ball. Here's Johnson driving, fading off the tapa, and the tūrapa into the safe hands of St. John's again. Out. Skinner couldn't convert. And it's going to be St. Kitts ball.
1 minute 23 to go here.
About 4 possessions. Oh, 3 and a bit possessions to go. Johnson coming off the on ball. Comes straight back into it. Nice little extra pass to Charlie Hughes. And again, we're going to have another on ball through Johnson. Even though the game might be decided, it's good extra practice, isn't it, out of pick and roll?
For all these younger players, absolutely. This experience is invaluable. Going against different teams you don't normally play in your local leagues, that you can get, you know, pick a few things to work on. And the game's over, essentially. So there's no kind of, you're not worried about making mistakes and getting subbed out. You can go and play freely. Try to get better at your craft. As a deep 3 is taken by St. Kitts.
Ends up with a positive outcome as Ari Taylor able to put that one up and in. And so 2 possessions to go in this game. St John's just working the ball around. Nice little off-ball screen, creating some space up the top again. One of those actions you almost see a bit more in 3x3, Ryan.
Back screen to ball screen. Bobby Neal's on the offensive rebound. And the steal.
Not enough options there on the inbound, and St John's, that's long. Off the tupper, offensive rebound. Going to put that one up, and it's going to be St Kent's ball who are going to dribble this one out. And so we're going to have our final score. St John's of Hamilton 93. St Kentigern College 58. Ryan, any parting thoughts on that game?
Look, an impressive defensive display by St John's, forcing multiple turnovers in the half court. They did a great job getting to the rim and moving the ball around. St Kent's probably ruled too many turnovers, which really broke the game open. They had it probably 9 to 15 points down, but then all of a sudden too many turnovers and got to a point where it was uncontrollable. They'll be looking for more of a rhythm, a bit more ball security when they play their next game.
From myself, Andrew Horrocks, Ryan Doubledam alongside me, producer Rich, camerawoman Jess. We're going to take a bit of a break and we'll be back with 5:45 women's AA action. Until that time, enjoy your day and we'll see you soon.
Funding is a real challenge. We know that a lot of schools face that ongoing, and the reality is if you go to a lower decile school in New Zealand, you are less likely to be able to afford to participate in sport.
Obviously, having come through it myself with kids and being one of those kids myself who played sport, I know how much it defined who I was. And now being able to go, I can't fix it all, but we can help and try and give to those people who are going through really tough times.
Ladies and gentlemen,
this isn't about what we wore back in the day.
We're going to go now. Going once, going twice, no more offers. Sold!
It's about being trusted to get a better result for our clients since 1973.
Sport is about more than just the game. It's about going from teammates to best mates. It's the high fives and helping hands. It's learning when to back yourself or back your buddies. It's actually being excited to get out of bed early on a Saturday. Sport is about more than just the game. That's why Caltex is proud to help fuel school sports.
I just want to thank New Zealand Carbon Farming for taking the initiative and supporting schools like ours.
It's really important they have that outlet to come to Kura for another reason other than curriculum, and for some reason in our water our kids just breathe sport, and having that resource here makes life that much more enjoyable and they can keep doing what they're good at.
Having this funding, being able to use it specifically targeting sport is hugely beneficial.